one of which sounds absolutely horrible. So I'm gonna try my old headset. Hello. This is the new Zwobot. I have taken over this stream. So the guy is telling me to tell a joke, which I just did, I think, but I don't know if it was any good. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about the sound quality. I've been out of gaming for like a couple of years, so.
Alright, stream is starting. They can also hear me now as well. Hello everybody. Good evening. It's time for Gothic 2 again, and today somebody else is with me. He's straight out of his bunker in Germany. That's why his sound quality is so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you think like these very expensive headphones, this headset with like speech thing, but it's like actually garbage.
Yeah. I think you will be forgiven if you constantly make like some sort of emergency broadcast once in a while. Just simulating like how the Russians are invading again.
Okay, I will do some research on that then.
Alright, I think is the sound level okay, or is Zwobot a little bit too loud? Otherwise I can reduce the volume a bit on him.
You should mute that guy. Sounds terrible.
Let's see. Let's reduce you a little bit. So, how is everybody doing tonight? How are you doing tonight?
Me?
Yes.
I'm fine.
That sounded so surprised, like somebody's asking how I'm doing. This never happened to me before.
Well, you know. No, I'm at the rear end of a flu, so.
Oh, you were sick.
Yeah, I was sick for like a week, which was nice.
Oh, it's so quiet, but he's just difficult to understand due to potato quality.
Oh.
Well, guess just increase the potato-ness. Okay, I think this is the last stream last save game I did. That should work. And I guess for the next time we can just get a try and look for a better. Like I still think that like I'm actually surprised that sound quality like this is still possible. I'm almost I'm almost convinced that you just have like some weird of like that it uses the wrong input or some shit like that.
Well, no. I mean, this is Bluetooth, right?
Oh, it's Bluetooth.
Ah, let me actually. I do have an actual cable for this. Let me try to fix it. You just go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna try and fix it. I mean, this really feels like 12 years ago when we started with this crap.
Because I remember that you actually had at one point better. Like do you remember all the way back then when we did like the German Red Supre shit for like
Oh yeah.
2 weeks? Back then you had better quality.
Well, also back then I had like an actual desktop PC. I had actual like gaming headset, this kind of stuff.
Oh, so we don't have that right now anymore?
No, actually, well, I have a gaming laptop, but as I told you earlier, it doesn't even have a separate mic input.
Well, although I mean, at this point, I also have my mic input in. My mic input is also USB at this point, but that's more because Windows 10 like released an update that completely broke it.
Yeah, but then, my my old headset has like separate things. So, okay, let's see.
Yeah, I could imagine that because I thought that most laptops actually have integrated mics. So I could imagine that you just accidentally. Oh yeah, that's actually not the one in this. I used the wrong teleporter.
Actually, because I was playing around with like the music recording, I might have turned one or two things off.
Yeah, Vaser, I thought that I already have the one in this place, but I forgot that I only get that after I finish chapter 2. So walking it is then. In the meantime, you can admire the new upgraded graphics of this mod, with DirectX 11. Walking in Memphis. Is Memphis that? Yes.
This looks really. It actually looks a lot better than it used to.
Yeah, well, it's a DirectX 11 upgrade, so they did like the graphics are genuinely better. Although it has that beautiful bug that some of the enemies are just plain invisible. Which is pleasant when you just walk around and suddenly get gnawed by something that you can't even see. And it also obscures a lot of stuff. Like certain items you want to pick up, you have to like walk around tall grass, barely knowing where it is. Oh yeah. Oh okay. Well, I can still do that. The mod also updated some of the player models, and there's one player model in particular that looks incredibly beautiful now, and I want to show that to you now.
Oh yeah, please.
Since Wieselkopf mentioned it.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus.
There's also going to be a little quiz where you can guess where they stole the armor from, because I think you might have played that game. There we go. That is Sarah. Isn't she pretty?
That is some hair. Yeah.
I like that. I like that the hair is the most glaring thing for you.
There you are.
Did someone put Tina Turner's face on her?
Did Tina Turner have like balloon lips as well?
Well, at some point, I think.
I never paid attention to it. Oh god, I still love how her arm clips into her breasts whenever she. But yes, there are some NPCs that actually look like that, especially the chest region. Because I have no reason. I have no idea why. Because. Well, might as well upgrade the female textures because we all know we play Gothic for the boobies. And that one sex scene you get in the tavern where they just oddly rub each other.
Oh jeez.
Although I have to say it's still better than the scenes from Mass Effect or Heavy Rain or something like that, because they're just only implying stuff so it doesn't look completely awkward, because they're just implying and not actually trying to animate stuff.
You know, the one thing I remember about Heavy Rain? It's like the female leaving the bathroom without wiping.
That is sure one thing. Have you actually changed my mic in the meantime, or?
Have I? No.
Yeah, have you or have you not? Because for throughout the whole thing, you basically sounded the same. So I'm still convinced that it's like an onboard mic it constantly detects and uses.
Okay, I just switched to the internal microphone thing, and you couldn't hear me at all, I think.
Yeah, I didn't hear it at all. Onboard mics. I mean, some of them, but there was a oh, hello there. Why is there a fat rat?
I mean, I believe that the mic on this one can be pretty good, and just for some reason it's not picking anything up. So
Maybe you have to redo the Discord call, or you are looking at the settings in Discord, right?
yeah, and at my Windows settings as well. So
Maybe you should have tested that more earlier than 5 minutes. 5 minutes before.
yeah, this is really professional.
Well, I am a professional Gothic streamer in the end.
Well, I don't think I've ever been a professional game anything.
Sadly, I can't say anymore that I'm the most famous Swiss streamer, because there are actually some Swiss German streamers that actually also talk Swiss German at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that make it to like up to 50 viewers even.
Jeez, I mean, back then that would have been a crazy amount of people.
Yeah. I mean, it still is today that there are 50 people in Switzerland actually watching a Swiss German streamer. Especially they mostly stream PUBG, which is like also one of the most awful games to watch.
Wow. Okay, Windows showed me that it fixed my problem.
Well, keep trying, Windows.
That is always nice. Yeah, but apparently I have to restart my computer, so audio enhancements didn't load. Okay.
Yeah, obviously 50 viewers for PUBG is extremely low, but it's only for Swiss German people. Like they are talking in Swiss German. It's the only people that can watch it are people from Swiss Germany, because nobody else would understand what the fuck they're talking about. That's the thing. So
it's actually really 50 is a lot. Yeah, 50 is a lot for that sort of. Yeah. We have at work some guy from Tyrol, from the Innsbruck area, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And like thankfully I don't have to deal with him much, but like it's much easier to understand him than in German.
Jesus, that's
Yeah.
That's mean to say.
No, I mean it's fine. Like we mostly speak English at work, but thing is,
Hey, you.
he has a really heavy accent when he speaks English, but it's still much easier to understand than when he speaks his native language.
What I've tried.
Beautiful. Alright, so I just finished chapter 2, so now it's gonna be the annoying thing where those magic people show up and try to grill me. Not sure if you still remember the Seekers, but yeah, you said it's like been ages since you played Gothic 2.
Yeah, I think it was still like way in the middle of puberty when I played it.
Yeah, okay, that's been a while.
Mhm. Hey, what are you saying? Not that old.
Well, it is in nowadays standards.
All right.
What the hell? Okay. For some reason the game just spawned in a couple of enemies for no reason. They are barely able to attack me, but oh well. Guess it's the font that counts.
What kind? Oh, goblins. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember. I'm pretty sure I told you this. Like back a couple years before Gothic 1 came out, there was this like 3D chat room,
Yes.
and that was like very early into like the whole chat thing. Like, this is like when did Gothic 1 come out?
Of something
Nothing
around
bad there.
year 2000, 2002 or so.
Ah,
2001.
2001. Yeah. Oh, 15th of March. Okay. So like 1 or 2 years before that, they started Gothic chat room where you could be like different characters from Gothic in like one in a bar or something, and one of them was a goblin.
Oh,
Yeah.
so like kind of like an RP server.
No, it was just those chat rooms where people have like avatars and stuff.
Ah, okay.
It's just like you stand around in a bar and there's people. Like there weren't a lot of animations or anything.
Ah, okay. Yeah, kind of. I guess kind of RuneScape-ish looking.
No, I mean it was Gothic 1. It was the graphics from Gothic 1. They just figured, might as well make a chat room as well.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, like I think the game would have been an alpha at that point.
And again, let me see. I need magic protection. Ah, that gives me the most magic protection. Oh god.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Google here, fix our microphone. There you go. Fix microphone settings, Windows 10. There we go.
But funny enough, did you know that nowadays there's an actual Gothic multiplayer with Gothic RP servers?
What?
Yeah, there's actually like one that recreates the whole old like it takes place entirely in the world of Gothic 2, where you could like be part of the old camp and shit. But mostly you're just going to be a lowly digger. But it's there. Like they did a whole RP society, but I heard it's basically I heard stories about, how it usually is in these kind of RP communities, that there's some people that basically just sleep themselves to the top and other shit, like just the usual RP drama. Like that, for example, playing as a digger is just really fucking boring because the only thing you do is run to the mine, get beaten up by random guards because people like to power play. The usual stuff.
That's
You never
weird.
plays a woman in bath all day. I'm not sure if you can. I think it's not even a. I'm not quite sure how. I'm not sure how it actually worked. Like I only did it like out of curiosity, but after one day I just said fuck it because it's so interesting, and I only like watched a little bit for all the drama because there was this incident with like she actually was a she, but basically she slept herself to the top. Which I found kind of funny, just like her abusing completely thirsty RP admins. Although the thing is, she was female, but how do I put that without sounding incredibly mean? But she was not a looker. Let's just put it like that.
Oh man, dude, that's sexist.
Okay,
I'm actually gonna try something funny here, so you might not hear me for a minute or two.
sure thing.
Because this is really annoying me. I'm watching, like, so I've got Discord running on my PC, and I've got my MacBook sitting next to me. That's where the stream is. And maybe from experience, my microphone for some reason works better on my MacBook. So
Alright, that sounds like an idea.
yeah, so let's
Also-
try that.
Okay. On a game-related note, I'm glad that those seekers are not that much of a pain in the ass as I feared to be. They only ate a third of my health, I think. Oh no, yeah, a bit more than third of my health, but I can survive 4 attacks from them. That's good. Just didn't move, really. Horrible.
Yeah, this is like completely new technology for me. No, not really.
I'm wearing leather armor because it has the highest magic resistance. Because it has, for some odd reason, 20 magic resistance, while the other armors only have 10 or none at all. So I am I am forced to use leather armor. Because, as you know, leather protects you pretty well from magic. It's magic repellent. Known to man. I wonder if there's a glass armor that just reflects all the spells. That would be great.
Hey, you're finally back. That I said.
Oh yeah, I can become a paladin now.
Talk to Zard.
I completely forgot about that I'm actually a paladin.
Paladins are always kind of boring.
Yeah, I rolled the dice what kind of playthrough I'm gonna do, and I rolled paladin archer. So yeah. Oh, you two bickering people. Where the fuck is Cyrus? Oi! Dude, I thought I'm supposed to come to you. Where are you?
Okay, I will quickly switch from this Discord to the other app. So
Yeah, the other PC. Sure thing.
yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Why do you TP there? Why? Lester told me to toilet paper to Zardas's towers. To Zardas's tower. What is your problem? That's what he told me, so I teleported here, but where the fuck is Zardas to begin with? Like, seriously, where is he? He was not in his room. Wait, there's a statue of Beliar. What? Oh, there's Zardas. Hello, Zardas. Well, no wonder I couldn't find him. Are you okay, old man? I think he's not okay.
Wait a minute. I've explored the unknown part of...
And what?
It was all about a mighty art.
The Claw of Belial?
Yes.
How very interesting. This weapon can be of great... Take good care of you.
I'm back.
High time.
You were right. Orcs are... It won't be... What the hell?
Yes.
I finally...
What?
For Lord Hagen.
I was at...
The enemy has... They have...
Yes.
What will...
Go and bring Lord Hagen the letter from Guru. Then go to the... Not go now.
Okay. He's not used to stairs. Yeah, that's true. Can I help you?
Hey, watch it.
Well, I guess that's Zarda's destiny now. Doomed forever to shuffle back and forth. Yeah, I think Zarda's is a hopeless case. Well, gotta save the world on my own then. Also, let's have a piece of meat. Nom. Temple of the Sleeper. Oh shit! You know what? One thing I just realized is that at one point he does have to actually get to the circle of whatchamacallit. And actually restore the ammo. I hope he actually makes it there, but I think he just teleports. At least I hope he just teleports.
Hello?
Hello there.
There we go. Does it sound any better?
I think you sound a little bit better. But you have to talk more though.
Yeah, well, I'm still fiddling. Like I'm fiddling around on two computers at the same time right now, so my brain is kind of split between 4 different things.
Yeah,
I'll figure that out in a second there.
Yeah, sound about 40% less robotic.
Oh, that's a shame though.
Well, you haven't done any emergency broadcasts yet, so it's not a shame. Still.
Yeah, try and figure that one out. Okay. But your sound quality is still pretty bad to me.
My sound quality?
Yeah. Maybe that's Discord there, who knows.
Oh god, please hit the dangerous warp. Thank you.
You can hear Christmas echo. That sounds good.
I echo?
Yeah, for some
Nothing
reason.
there.
You can hear couch echo? What? Oh yeah, I can hear. Yeah, you echo from me. Yeah, I echo from you.
Oh, really?
Nothing there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Oh no, it's
Okay.
oh, it's gone.
Yeah, now it's gone because
Oh Jesus Christ! Who are you? What did you do with Mr. Robot?
is it worse again?
No, it's better.
Oh really? Okay, now I switch to my
there.
MacBook's internal
Nothing
microphone.
Holy shit.
Nothing
Uh, technology, right?
Yes.
It's not like this is. It's not like it's not my day job to deal with like tech stuff.
Well, I mean, it is kind of normal. Oh shit, there's a secret coming towards me. I mean, it's rather normal stuff to usually deal with. Human voice.
Oh man, my gimmick is gone.
Yes, now you actually have to be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, damn. Like I'm much better when I have to deal with problems because I can keep talking about the problems. So I don't have to
Yes.
come up with anything actually creative.
I mean, what is? I mean, the most pleasant thing to talk about is tech problems after all.
Yeah. And getting nostalgic for this stuff.
And I'm so glad that I can kill those seekers with 3 arrows. Those guys are usually a huge pain in the ass. And I thought, because you know how it is like with enhancement mods, the first thing those enhancement mods do is make everything more difficult.
Okay, I couldn't hear anything of what you said like the last minute. Because it's something... I'm pretty sure everything is fine now. Because there was something weird going on. I heard like bug noises instead of your voice.
Biting noises?
No, bug noise. Like...
Oh, I was like, biting noises? How does that work?
But now your voice sounds perfectly clear.
Of course it does.
Uh,
Yes, I'm Weaver. Click, 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 click.
click, 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 click.
Alright. I only said that I'm glad that my bow is pretty effective against the enemies. Because I was a little bit afraid that usually how most mods work, enhancement mods work, is make the game 5 times more difficult than it used to be.
Oh yeah, I hate that.
In what aspect is Zwobot right?
Everything.
Yeah, I think the clicking comes from Zwobot again, though.
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry, it's gonna stop in a minute. Because while I was switching from my PC to my Mac, apparently on my PC, all of my audio devices were removed somehow.
Okay.
So that is fun.
You know, with things like these, I'm always amazed how somebody can even make it so incredibly complicated.
Well, it's a thing. Like this happened because of the weird like Windows fixed it itself. You know.
Oh, okay. All right. So the game also has some new paths and new enemies, and I am wondering if I can have a rematch against those enemies that murdered my ass at the beginning of the game. Which probably will still end up with me dying against them because there were also some custom enemies like, I don't know, some undead skeleton mage or something like that. Which just murdered me.
Undead skeleton.
Yes. Oh yeah, now I realize what you why you repeated it. Like, wait, that's a little. It could be also. Wait, undead zombie doesn't makes even less sense.
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're trying to make a social commentary in some way, you know.
Oh, you mean like the undead zombies of the media or something like that? Yes, I want to get murdered by the skeleton mage so you can start your death counter.
Skeleton mage sounds great.
Skelemancer.
Skeleman.
Oh, there's some enemies. What are those works?
So what are you doing? What are you doing in the game right now? Like, what's your current mission? Why are you in the forest?
To get the Eye of Enos.
Jeez, that's
Whoops.
like mid-game,
done.
right?
Yeah, that's mid-game. It's chapter 3 out of 6.
Mm.
And we got to like you go to the Valley of Mines, get like that letter that says, yeah, dragon shit is happening, please send help. And then you go to retrieve the Eye of Innos for the dragons, but then the eye gets stolen and shit is generally happening. Like the eye gets stolen, then you have to retrieve the eye, then you have to repair the eye. Oh god, those fucking orcs, those enemies survive.
MacGuffin fetch quest, basically.
Yes, it is a huge fetch quest.
Also, let me turn on my touchpad on the other computer so I don't make any weird clicking noises.
Click, 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 click. Okay, now I can kill those. I like how my arrow got stuck in the tree.
Oh, isn't the range combat here also like chance based?
Yes, it is just a die roll, whether you hit or not.
That's how you notice that this game is 20 years old at this point, right?
Yeah, although I think wasn't it released around? No, it was released later in March. Oh, then again, no wait. Morrowind had like this weird hybrid thing where you did manually aim, but it was still a dice roll whether you hit or not.
Yeah, basically you have to like shoot the general area, so basically ray casting, but then there's still like some math involved that says, oh, hit or not hit.
Yeah,
it's really
that's.
bad.
I know. I remember how frustrating that was when the first like after Gothic, the first time I tried Morrowind, and then engage in melee combat, and it was just oh, it's a ghost mage.
Oh, that's worse.
Ghost mage. Well, let's shoot the ghost mage and see what happens.
And depending on the setting, right? Ghosts can't even be hurt without magic weapons.
Yeah. Oh dear lord, it's 2 ghost mages.
No.
Ow! Ow! Okay. They are pretty aggressive, because they just spam projectiles like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, you died.
Yes.
It's like, nah, never mind.
Yeah, it kind of hurt, but I think they threw like ice lances or some shit like that at me. It's also 2 of them on the spot, which makes it even harder. But maybe I can... You know, the best thing against ranged enemies is just to stand behind a tree and see if you can somehow...
Yeah, but that didn't work, right? You were standing behind a tree there.
Yeah, the tree was too tiny though, I think. That was the problem. Of course, it's also the problem that I'm also a ranged character, so it's kind of... it's kind of a Mexican...
Actually more dangerous up close.
Yeah, it's a... It's a question of how they actually react to when they get in melee range. If they have like some sort of weird melee attack. What? Oh, fuck off! That went right through the tree. That's not fair. Oh, they just freeze in time.
Well, they're baiting you out. Like from a tactical point of view, it's actually pretty good. See?
Also, well, the thing is, yeah, they have staffs. They actually have staffs on their back. Also, I called bullshit on that because both of those projectiles hit me while I was behind the tree.
They do have some pretty awesome swagger though when they are back in peace mode.
Well, our job is done. Time to rattle home.
Time to baboos.
Oh dear lord. Okay, I don't even know how you're supposed to beat them in general, because they have a ridiculously high damage output.
Yeah, and a pretty huge aggro range as well.
Oh, hey, I'm able to... Here's the way you beat them, you exploit them.
Also, they're not solipsists, because otherwise they wouldn't believe in each other, so...
Yeah. Oh, they also even have a heal spell.
That's great.
Because he just tried to heal himself at the end. Oh! Son of a bitch!
Oh man, like... Yeah, you deserve that though. You just deserve the shit out of that tree.
Oh, they're actually fighting each other.
That orc got you good.
Oh! That startled the shit out of me.
Nice. Was a good tactic there. I mean, you almost got him.
Well, I got one, and the second one as well, if it wouldn't have been for those meddling orcs. Alright, fine, I won't go this way. I got it. I got the memo. Jeez.
Yeah, Orc Elite in Chapter 3, but I'm pretty sure it's not just like the progression of the story, it's also like the area itself.
Yeah, the area is completely new to the mod.
Ah, okay.
It's like this is usually the first path you take, and you'd usually only be able to go straight. But for some reason, they also have like this alternate path, which I don't really know where it leads to. Probably somewhere interesting, considering the amount of high tier enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But doesn't this mean like he messed up the spawning or something? Or
no, I mean that's kind of Gothic-ish in the sense that usually you don't have fixed barriers, more you just get barriered off by high tier enemies instead of having some artificial border.
Right, fair enough.
All right. What I want to do though is. Def is also really messed up his plan. Okay, one thing I can do though is just run through. I have a speed potion. I'm curious what this path brings. I'll just do a suicidal run and see what happens. But I can only run for 40 seconds because the dev also thought it's necessary to nerf the speed potion from 5 minutes to 40 seconds.
Man, never nerf quality of life items.
Yeah. Well, it looks pretty, the area. Like, they did add quite a lot of new areas, although most of them just are kind of pointless most of the times. Like, they're just there, but he didn't put anything into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? I mean, if they didn't change the main story at all.
Yeah, oh shit. Okay, my runny potion ran out, and I have a bunch of doggies on my ass now. Yes, Scroll, you can make an announcement of the utmost importance while I'm getting mauled by doggies. Oh, I think they... Okay, I'm out of aggro range. Good. I can continue with my suicide run.
Oh, good job, Grawl. Jeez.
What is it?
That is pretty dope. I think I don't know how much effort is in there, but.
Oh, did he?
It's a screenshot. You should look at it maybe if you have time.
Alright, I'll do. Because the DirectX 11 support also allows you now to finally all tap out of the game without it crashing on you. Oh, that's a lot of works.
The screenshot, please don't spoil the surprise. Damn it.
Screenshot of his dick. I guess it's E-dick. So where does this in the end lead? It's... Oh, look. Oh, is that an alternate... I think that's an alternate entrance to the prison colony. Well. Guess I'll just be dying in the meantime. Oh dear. Ow. Yeah, I think it's just an alternate entrance to the prison colony. Because I've seen this door on the other side as well. Okay. Anyways, let's dive into the water and be completely invulnerable because enemies don't know how to attack you when you're in the water.
So it's like, what's that game? Isn't that Watch Dogs, I think?
Oh yeah, 100% Bloodborne. Jesus, this is so unexpected because he's usually the kind of person that gives up after 2 minutes when something doesn't work in his way.
I think I played that game for like 10 minutes overall.
Bloodborne?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to play through it, but because I don't have a single console, I'm not able to. I did play through the whole Dark Souls trilogy.
Isn't it on PC at this point?
Bloodborne, no. It's still held hostage by
by
PS4.
Sony, right?
Yeah, it's an exclusive.
Wow. I mean, that's, you know, I don't mind that because PlayStation is better. But...
Goodbye, play Dark Souls game, new Ninja.
Oh, Neo, it's actually a pretty good game, Grawl. That's a really good game.
Yeah. Although they have kind of a problem that they announced Neo 2 and then at the same time FromSoft announced Sekiro, which is basically... Like, Neo was always had this reputation of being just a Japanese Dark Souls or just an Asian Dark Souls. And now comes FromSoft and actually makes their own Asian Dark Souls, so it's like, shit.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a whole bunch of differences to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like the whole stance system and the stamina recovery. So to me, it's a more tactical game in a sense, and I just like the setting more. Also, no, what's that name? Sedicente Ricatone or whatever. It's not the PS4 is not better than PC. I'm a strategy gamer at heart, so technically I'm a PC gamer, but
yeah, also
considering I have a PS4, I don't mind the exclusivity.
Let's beat it.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say.
Because
Do not
apparently my
start. Do
gaming
not
laptop
start.
is garbage.
Do not start a PC Master Race argument.
Oh.
Also, yes, invisible sheep, because that's what DirectX 11 does. It looks pretty, but it also covers things up by making them literally invisible. Is there anything I can do in this place even? How's your farm?
I can't all of a sudden the short time.
Isn't this like one of the first characters you talk to?
Yes, exactly. That is
The farmer.
you get over. I actually really liked the counter of him. Like that's the first time you're close to the city. It's like one of the first NPCs you talk to, and it's like, and it's like the hero that that destroyed the barrier and saved the whole colony is now forced to pick turnips in order to survive, which had kind of a nice touch in the end. All right, what kind of quest did he give me? Healing for Hilda. Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. Oh, no, Sekiro spoilerino. I heard in Sekiro you die twice.
Yeah, I think that the joke is he starts, like the game starts with him being dead or something.
Oh shit. Help. Help. Stop throwing balls of fire at me, please.
From what I've heard, Sekiro is actually quite different from the like quote-unquote Souls games.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think that there's a huge emphasis on mobility because you jump. It's like a
exactly,
grappling
which I
hook
like quite a lot. Yeah, so I might actually get it. So like probably the only game I'm going to be playing over the next 2 or 3 months is going to be Anno 1800. So really look forward to that.
What's with Germans and being such huge fanboys for Anno games?
It's a great series. Also, it's a German series. So. Like originally.
Anyway. Then again, it's me asking that while I play Gothic.
that is true. I mean, there's some stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
The same with my dad playing like Agriculture Simulator.
Yeah. Or women mostly playing The Sims.
Well, that's not true anymore though.
Yeah, it's not. But it's like if any girl would play video games, it would usually be The Sims. Like it's like one of the. I'm trying to find like a expression to, but not sound like some sort of red-pilled chat guy.
Actually, it's Sims or Skyrim. I found.
Skyrim? I didn't think that it was actually hugely popular with the female crowd.
From what I've seen, like the only game that girls I know that play games, like the game that has the most hours for them is Skyrim, actually. And
have the most what?
Hours.
Hours. Well, I guess we call that a tie, and a die. Skyrim with rape mods or female rape fantasy. What?
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ. I wonder if... I could imagine that maybe Life is Strange is also pretty popular, or like in general just storytelling games. But I don't know.
The David Cage games for sure.
Oh dear lord. David Cage. I like because they're just such, like, in the end, like, I admire Detroit Become Human, for example, that it has a shitload of branching paths. Like, I've seen how widely different the stories can go, which is quite a lot of effort to put in, but at the same time, the game is just, like, I mean, it has fucking robot concentration camps in it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Which is just, I wouldn't say, it is kind of bad taste, though. It is like 1-to-1, it just makes them go full Nazi in the end. With like,
yeah, I mean, why not just have a kill switch, you know?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's robots. You could just kill them on the spot. You don't need to ship them off to concentration camps.
Yeah, like, never heard about like remote control?
Yeah, or they just throw defective onto the trash. Like, what about recycling and shit? Like, why do you just throw them onto a random pile? It's just so short. Like, he was just so hell bent on pushing that analogy. It's like, no, just abandon all common sense with it.
Yeah, but it's a huge waste in resources
Nothing
in the long run.
Nothing there.
Yeah.
But also like the whole issue, like to me, like having a lot of branching paths has like the main issue that you can't guarantee the same quality in terms of story and in terms of dialogue. So there's always a chance that your players are gonna get like the least
Nothing there.
well written and least polished bits of the story when they play the first through.
That's true, but then again, I guess it's a David Cage game, so you won't be able to expect a good. You won't expect a good. You won't get a good story anyway. So at least the amount of choices you can make is interesting.
That is a fair point.
Because there aren't like that's what kind of annoys me about many of those choose your own story games, that they're usually like you only have like the illusion of choice. Like you can, like for example, a game like all the Telltale games or also Life is Strange, is that yes, there are choices and maybe some minor differences, but at the end it usually always boils down to the same thing.
Yeah. Also, I need to reply to this comment. Have you ever heard of like old school adventure games? Those are well written railroads basically, but they're really fun. Like it's not just about like having a story play out in linear fashion. It's also about just enjoying the visuals, the sound. It's about
It's like
figuring
life
things
itself,
out.
just the illusion of choice. Oh, so deep.
Yeah, so I'd rather have no choice than the illusion of choice, right? Because I don't wanna play my own life in a video game.
I mean, in like, I think, again, like you said, like if you have too many branching paths, it's a problem that the story suffers from it. So I think Life is Strange had a good balance between, because there are choices that had quite an impact. Like for example, there's a whole character that can die throughout the story and stays dead and kind of alters the course of the story, but it's still going to be this last binary, still the same binary choice at the end, which is still pretty well done in the end.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can, like some decisions you can reword, right? Since you can like rewind time.
Yeah, you can, but for some odd reason there's just one big, like there's a point in the game where you have to prevent somebody from killing themselves, and for convenient story reasons, for some odd reason those powers won't work at that point, which is, I mean, it's nice for tension. It's just kind of a gaping story hole because it makes no sense, because that never ever happens again throughout the whole game. But yeah, kind of like the Life is Strange, hey? I thought I was to creep on a puberty girl. Fuck off. I mean, it is a generally nicely written story and also very likable characters. They are huge walking stereotypes you have to get used to, but once you are settled into that strange kind of world written by somebody who obviously had never was at a real high school, because it's still nice. Yeah, the problem is also it's written in English, but the writer is like French Canadian.
Well, at least it's not written by someone who's been living in high school for like years, right?
Yeah. So it has the problem that there's some really weird expressions they use. Although they started to grow on me because they're just so strange, to say the least.
Yeah, just like life.
Yeah, I think like one character constantly says "hella." That's hella cool.
Hello.
Hella.
Well, at least not wicked, but you know, at least animal. Well, pretty much mean it's the native. There you go.
I think somebody said. I could imagine that she also says wicked. Or the main character constantly says, when she's surprised about something, she constantly says wowzers. Yes, but it's but it's so adorable. I love it.
Zow.
Wowzers. Yeah, wowzers. Also, your microphone is still doing crinkly noises. I thought you would fix that.
That's me doing crinkly noises.
Und dieses
That is
Leben
actually-
Granatenstark.
Yeah.
Volle do you know the reference, Wieselkopf Max?
No.
Bunt ist das Leben und Granatenstark, volle Kanne, Hoshi.
No, it sounds like some Eastern German thing.
Yeah. For me, it sounds kind of like something a character out of the Werner movies would say.
Nah. Nah, it doesn't.
Ah, true. German intro. It's a German dub from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Oh yeah, that's like one of the movies I still have on my watch list, or to watch list rather. Because I think it's like, isn't Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure just kind of like a campy 90s comedy movie?
I think it's something like that.
It's a German in jokes.
Remember which actors?
I think Mike Myers is one of them.
Really?
Yeah, that's like back in his early days. And then before he really exploded in popularity.
No, it's Keanu Reeves.
What? Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
In a comedy movie?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Okay, that is really strange.
Yeah, Mike Myers. I don't think Mike Myers is actually in the movie. You're gonna hear some typing here, but
Yeah, maybe it's a different movie. Maybe a similar one. I think there are lots of like comedy duo movies. Because I thought that he was like in some of those, or one of those.
Reeves, Alex Winter, George Carlin.
Wait, they're doing a third Bill and Ted movie now? I mean, they are rebooting a truckload of weird movies. It's
Yeah, Mike Myers is not actually in that movie.
okay. Then I mistook it for something else. No, first I want to become a paladin. I want to get the new armor to look fancy and actually have magic resistance. Or they're probably going to mouth off because I'm wearing a leather armor.
Well, which is more fitting to an archer, to be honest.
No.
I mean, having done archery myself, I think like doing that with like plate armor
Come to
is not
talk to
fun.
Lord Hagen, so you should go ahead and do that.
Wait a minute. Why? You're not Lord Hagen, you're an imposter. Where the hell is Lord Hagen? I was like, okay, let's talk to Lord Hagen, and suddenly it's not him.
I thought
Oh, maybe there was a coup or something. Is that normal though? Does that happen?
That the other guy is here, not Lord Hagen. I think that's maybe a change they made, because I thought that Lord Hagen would always be here.
Can you?
Well, that's what you get for assuming. Guy is alive, you know.
Yeah, they have some. They did do some strange changes. Like, for example, for some odd reason, one of the NPCs I was looking for turned out that he sleeps down at the secret Thieves Guild without actually being a part of the Thieves Guild.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is he like a beggar or something, or an informant?
No, nothing. At least no correlation to the Thieves Guild as far as I'm concerned.
So just a rando then.
Yeah, just a rando.
Well, maybe he's friends, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have to listen to the best voice line in the entire game.
I didn't mean to intrude.
I can't do that, so.
failed utterly at that, so go away.
Is that the voice line?
Yes. You have failed utterly. I don't know. Go away.
I mean, I don't know. I played 2 worlds.
Oh dear lord! Why did you play it through, or did you only like?
No. So I bought the game when it came out.
Oh, you
Almost
poor
like
soul.
Gothic, but yeah, I know, right? Thankfully, my computer couldn't handle it back then. I played both actually. But I think
thought
stopped
Two Worlds
too
2 is
after, like,
I thought 2 Worlds 2 is actually playable, decent.
Well, it depends on your definition of playable, right?
Like in the
Still
sense,
really bad.
yeah, it's not good, but it's at least playable. Unlike Two Worlds 1.
Yeah. I mean, you get pointy heads when you play a wizard, so I think that's fine.
Yes,
The minimum requirement for me to think it's fun.
to have a wizard with a pointy head.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like a lot of wizards in games don't have pointy heads.
I don't
And I
want any
think
trouble.
not giving you the option to have one is bad.
I don't want any
Bad
trouble.
game design.
I don't want any trouble.
I just
I don't want any trouble.
Although it does have
I
something
don't
like.
want any trouble.
God damn it! This is also a new addition to the mod. You can't sleep in every bed anymore. He just goes like, I don't want any trouble. Jesus, just.
It's like some Goldilocks issues, yeah.
I never thought it that way. Yeah, he just doesn't want any trouble. He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy running around in houses with torches and stuff.
Yes.
Like,
Also, just
okay.
grazing just clipping with the torch for the other guy's face. Doesn't want any trouble. Fine, I go to the dumb hotel room and sleep there because while the night is pretty looking, it's really annoying to navigate. Also, oh yeah, there's also.
Wait a minute.
Oh God. DirectX 11 cannot handle his new hair.
Are you?
I finished the commit.
Look at these.
No, actually, yeah, the magic system is actually really interesting in towards. I think in both games even. I'm not sure about the first one.
You get to make your own
I
spells.
think it's slightly different, but yeah, you have like a base element or something, and then you modify it with
kind of like Magicka did it with all the elements, and then you just mix them together.
No, not really. Like, I mean, Magicka is just you combine different elements and you have different effects, right? Like different amounts of the same element change
Exactly.
change
You
how,
can,
whether it's a beam or something.
yeah, and then it's just different ways to kill your buddies.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh god, I remember us rage quitting the game pretty hard back then.
Yeah, me too. This
At
is like
least once.
that was one of the games that genuinely upset me. Like usually it takes a lot of me to get frustrated or mad at a game, but that game just completely made me boil over.
Yeah, I think that was actually one of the few times we had to prop falling out within our group.
It could be.
Yeah, I think it's one of the occasions where we didn't talk for like a couple of weeks. Super angry at each other. That was fun.
Especially Magicka also has these giant fuck you AoE spells, like an literal Armageddon. So if you get annoyed too much friendly fire, you just start casting those the whole time. It's just like, fuck you guys.
So much fun.
Oh, no.
But yeah, two words to basically you have an element, then you have like different things like this makes it a beam or this makes it like some sort of meteor shower kind of thing, and different modifiers. It's card based sort of, in the sense that you have like a couple slots and you put cards in, you can make them stronger, stuff like that, stack them. It's alright, but it's like the game overall is a little clunky, I think.
Alright.
Which, of course, is true for most of these kind of games until like Skyrim came around. So.
Okay.
Except for Gothic, of course.
Okay, Beach Bow. No, Bossler doesn't seem to have any better. Doesn't seem to sadly have any better. Any better bows, but he has a better belt of dexterity. Major belt of dexterity.
Why are you standing on the thing now?
Yeah, for some reason. Okay.
Super excited for that belt. Hey, you want to check out my current one? What do you want to give me for it?
Well, it does increase my dexterity by 5.
Yeah, Zwobot, I agree. Like I've actually never played a magic character in Skyrim because, well, it's kind of lame.
Yeah, like I tried to play Skyrim, but the problem was I overplayed Oblivion, which annoyed me to death at the end. So I wasn't able to play Skyrim at all. Like I played the intro, and then when it was like, "Hey, open world, go wild," I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that."
It is a really good game, though. I will say that. Oblivion, I don't know. Like the only thing I like the magic system, because it was basically just physics editor in some sense.
Yeah, the problem is though that they don't give you any limits. Like you can literally do anything, which allows you to break the game by crafting, for example, a 100% chameleon spell, which makes you completely invisible but still able to attack enemies. So you basically just won the game.
Which makes sense, to be honest. I mean, unless it's like a concentration sort of spell, like it's in D&D. I don't know. Oblivion doesn't have that distinction, so I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's still the problem that it's just completely broken, because well, they can't attack you anymore, and there's nothing that really gives them invisibility detection. So they don't even try. They just stand there. They take it like they do spaz around a little bit, but they do otherwise completely anything. Okay, let's see how much furs I have. I have 5,391 gold. Let's see how loaded I
Must be
get when
heavy.
how many skin after I give them all my skins. Oh, he also takes
So-
reptile skins.
Question: in your D&D campaign, do you play with like weight for money?
No, I don't. I'm generally oh, holy shit! I just got 8,000 gold through skins and furs. No, I'm generally rather easy on the like management stuff. Like I recently also completely forgot about like rations, which is also a thing. Like I should keep that in mind though. That well, currently they're still in the city anyway, so it's not that much, not that relevant. But I think as soon as they start, why the hell does this guy have a sniper on his on his beam?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's weird. I'm still sick. Don't forget about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the moment they get out of town, I definitely will remind them to buy rations
Well,
and use them up.
I would actually make it. So speaking from experience here, I think the best way to handle stuff like rations while traveling is like the best way to handle that is just to make it an important part of the journey itself. So instead of just saying, okay, you're not in a city anymore, so you don't have ready access to food, it just makes it like a regular mechanic that just happens. It's because there are people living in the olden times or whatever. They're generally probably they know how to forage for food. But if you say have them traverse like some Arctic sort of area or a desert, then I would make it actually. Then I would actually introduce it because then it's an important part of the journey itself.
Yeah, I
Because
do
otherwise
have.
it's just, like,
In my
banishments.
map, there is going to be kind of a hostile environment where I definitely will regard that because it also has like air that isn't completely that is rather not poisonous, but it will require them to roll a con save once in a while, and that gets worse after a while, worse and worse.
Okay.
Also, more in the sense that they will have like a moment, like they will know it's gonna be a hostile environment, so they will also have like the possibility to prepare themselves somehow. Like in, I don't even know if there are like any particular spells or items that will help you against this shit. But at least that's like one of the things I intend. Also, where the hell is Lord Hagen? Still the other dude here.
It's probably taking a dump or something.
That's a long dump considering I've been.
Well, he has to, take off his armor and stuff. It takes a while.
Hey, you.
Seriously, did they just place him somewhere else? Well,
Oh yeah, I was also trying like to finish this conversation about Oblivion. So I mean, the magic system was fun. The game I think generally was not that great, and also
Yeah.
you had to mod in pointy heads, so that made it also already pretty bad to me. Because think about it, like when people play wizards in games, they want to be Gandalf, right? And what's one of the special characteristics about Gandalf is he wears a pointy hat. So
Funny enough, like in Dark Souls, did you play Dark Souls 3?
I watched a speedrun of it.
Or rather, you know that there's a wizard with a giant pointy hat, right? Big Hat Logan.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
We was on Dark Souls 1 though.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a boss that basically is kind of like a fanboy of him and also has a big pointy hat. And the moment I beat him and went to the shrine, like whatchamacallit, trader, that hat was available for purchase. It was a ridiculous amount. It was like 10,000 souls, which it was like 2 levels for me at that point. But I was like, fuck this shit. I want that huge fucking hat.
I mean, he goes crazy data anyway, right?
Yeah, he does. But he, like I said, in the third game he's actually not in there. It's like one of the, I guess, like a sorcerer, what called thing. Also, what the hell did I steal from him? I stole something from him which was called Dominic's Cry. And I don't know what that means, because it said a spell scroll, but I don't see a spell scroll. Whose hammer? Is it like a, or is it something else? Greasy note.
Wanting to be Uri Geller bending spoons. I mean, that's more of a psychic thing. It's
Oh yeah, Dominic's cry.
wizards
Oh, it's
are above bending spoons.
okay. Okay, quick question at everybody. What is Dominic's cry? It's supposedly a spell scroll. I have it here in my hand, but it's like something I can read.
Let me Google that. There's probably something weird happening. Rise from the grave.
Dominic's cry.
Nope. Well, there's a person called Dominic Alexis on Twitter.
Okay, Dominic's cry. We shall reap his glory. His capitalized for no reason. Inno stands by me and my brothers. I will slay all who stop me like sheep. For he, capitalized again for no reason, is the fire inside my heart. My blade serves him alone, again capitalized. On this day his name will echo forth. Any man who opposes me will die at my hand. For I am a warrior of Innos. Well, it's some weird kind of vow, I guess. Oh, then, maybe then isn't there like this weird kind of grammar rule that if you like refer to a god in like his that he actually capitalize it?
Yeah, pretty much. This is also this is actually an interesting thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna dig into my archaeological knowledge here. So obviously you have this in the English language as you capitalize pronouns for gods, but if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphics, for example, when you write the name of a god, you always have like a symbol behind it that represents a sitting god statue, sort of, which doesn't have a sound, so it just like determines what kind of object or thing you're referring to. In that case, a god.
Well, never mind then. Then it's just badly written, but grammar-wise correct.
Yeah, for the most part.
At least, I mean, it's maybe not horrible, but I find the line I will slay all who would stop me like sheep just kind of.
But the sheep are invisible, right?
Yeah. How can you slay them when they're invisible? Also, where the fuck is Lord Hagen? He's still not there.
Should I Google it for you? I mean,
the problem is not sure if you will find it because, like I said, it's specific to this mod. So I think it's kind of hard to find a solution for it because it's mod, like you have to like try and sift through the answers.
What's the mod called again?
L'hiver. I do not know why they call it the winter, but they do because I guess French sounds fancy.
But how do you spell that?
You can look at the street.
Oh, yeah, I see
description.
that, okay. Lehiva.
Lehiva. Again, exactly, Lehiva.
Which immediately found it, first result. There we go.
Oh, there's also a new path. I guess it could be in the barracks, or maybe at in the harbor.
So apparently, no, he's apparently in the Paladin Fortress.
Oh yeah, that's a new place they added in the mod. I guess they had to give it some reason to exist, so they just moved Lord Hagen over there.
Yep. Good thing I kept reading because the first fix was to cheat him, like to use the console to teleport him to here.
Like fuck this shit. Why am I still carrying the torch? Guess to see all the fancy lighting. Hello, Pablo. Okay then, let's go to the place that had the new fortress they added. It's just
so I guess we move him there just so you get to check it out.
yeah, I guess so. Like we already invaded it at one point because I was just curious. Although it was the usual like goose chase in the sense of like you're not allowed in here. Oh yeah, also might as well.
Olympic torch challenge. So his arm must be getting tired at this point.
Smart kid.
Yeah.
Hello, citizen.
Calm down again. Jesus, she's cross for a
Drop your
long time.
torch.
The only thing I wanted to do is do this because I don't know how they fucked up the texture so badly because it looks like she has some sort of skin disease. Like Was there some sort of like scam doctor that gave them
It's like-
all?
Handprints on their boots.
I might as well also just quickly show you the models in the Red Lantern.
Got my own opinion.
Because it's not getting better. Oh, yeah, aren't they completely naked? Oh. Nobody here, just Bromer. Hey,
Can you even
Bromer.
show that on Twitch?
I did a couple of times. I guess technically not. On the other hand, you're not allowed to swear anymore either. Or basically anything can get you banned at this point on Twitch.
Well, shit.
I think you also can get banned when your community is a bunch of trolls. You can get reprehended
Wow.
for the acts your subscribers do. Which is
Well,
also...
I mean, you can argue about that.
It's just kind of hard to control in the end, because hive minds are usually... Well, hive
I mean,
minds.
obviously, but I think it's more about like not saying like, "Hey, stop bullshit, you're all acting like kids."
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always been like the streamer says like, "Go brigade this guy," or just then it's obvious this is not recommendable. But oh well, Twitch politics. At the same time, you could also just be female and constantly send nude pics to the admin, and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, really? Is that a thing?
That's actually kind of like an open secret in the end, because there's also like the policy like no nudity obviously, but also like nothing too sexual. But
So
there,
it's basically like back on Reddit when one of the admins was like an open pedophile, but since he was an admin, he was safe or something.
wasn't that NeoGaf?
I don't know the names.
Or was it both? Was it both places? It's more in the sense that like a popular thing for example they do is like squats for subs. So whenever they get a sub, they do like 15 squats in obviously
That's
skin tight
healthy.
clothing with bum towards the camera and shit like that, for example.
Oh, still, it's
it-
healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy in the end. It's like, but in the end, it's just something I cease to care about. It's just so yeah, whatever.
Taps for subs sounds good.
Taps for subs. I mean,
Get some keyboard goop going.
they could. I mean, Twitch. I mean, if they wouldn't try to have this family-friendly image, they could just drop the whole act and just introduce a cam section, like a adult section, just be done with it.
Yeah, and have like actual age verification stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a if the intention is good. Maybe I'll make jokes about it, but I think it's still a good thing. But yeah, like there has to be like some middle ground. They're just saying, well, you can't be adults anymore.
I mean, at least we're not in the UK yet, where you have to buy a porn license in order to watch pornography.
Jeez.
The first time I read it, I thought it was actually a satire article. Then I realized, no wait, it's actually serious. It's actually serious. That it's, I think it's happening like first of April or so.
What porn license?
Yeah, like it is like you have to buy like a $5 or $10 like odd authentication card from like a kiosk or so, to then verify that you're adult, so you're eligible to watch porn.
Yeah, it is idiotic. Where's it in Switzerland or?
No, in the UK.
Okay. Well, it's it's very typically British somehow.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just typical. It's just the typical British prudishness.
Yeah, especially if you think about the fact that a couple of years back they had like this government-funded thing happening where they're trying to get people to have sex because sex is healthy.
I'm not all that interested.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I guess they're doubling back on.
Highest fire magician.
Ah, yeah, ID. Well, yeah, the whole ID thing, I get that, but that just because I have a physical ID in my wallet, and also because I am a registered citizen
Must find a way.
with an ID number, doesn't mean the internet knows about my ID, right?
Yeah.
So if I go on Pornhub, for example, like I would not give them my social security number or whatever.
Okay, I want to take
I
a.
want to take
To be a warrior of Innos means
Oh, I
to
cannot
devote
become
yourself
paladin yet?
entirely to the cause of
Guess not.
Innos. Only the noblest, if you are truly determined to be.
Oh fuck! Like I hate this shit. Like, hey, oh god! I just realized how his armor pulsates because he's breathing, and his banner just stretches back.
So you know
It's
it's fake armor.
And also how his Geralt hair starts clipping through his head.
Oh yeah. Are you sure it's not his head clipping through the hair instead?
Yeah, maybe the other way around. Yeah. But I just find it so like, hey, I bring you news that everything's fucked over there. Well, you're not worthy yet to become a paladin, unlike the others who just sit around all day. But I also like you have to. Did you pay attention to like his English voice acting because he sounds like he has like constantly short breath, which I find pretty like just kind of cute. Like he always after every single voice line he starts. Oh yeah, right. I have to do the murder quest because one of the paladin got murdered and some blacksmith. Oh yeah, the blacksmith that can repair the eye gets framed for it because evil plots happening.
Evil plot, you say?
Forgot about that. Shut up. Asthmatic Geralt. It kind of sucks because he also has like a fancy cape, but you don't see it because he's sitting on his big ass. But since the game doesn't have any like physics engine, it's just completely still. So it looks like it's, I don't know, starched a bit too much. I really like the expression asthmatic Geralt because it fits pretty well in the end.
Yeah, talking about that, did you play the Witcher games?
Oh yes, all of them, 1, 2, 3, and also even read the Witcher books up to this point. So I'm kind of a Witcher expert at this point, or an expert, quote unquote. It's been ages. Did you play any Witcher games?
Yeah, well, I played a little bit of the first one, but then the third one, I think I played the third one until I got out of the like tutorial province, which already took me way too long, and I can't just like do main story and skip everything else, so I stopped like a couple times. Yeah, really.
Oh, it's a pity because I thought Witcher 3 was in the end really excellent.
No, it's an amazing game from the way it plays and how much fun it is actually. It's just like I don't have the patience for that kind of game anymore.
Oh, I
All
guess
the time.
so, yeah.
Like back in I mean, you know, my backlog has always been huge, right? This has not changed over the last 10 years.
Hey.
But I just don't have the time to play a game like that
I guess so.
to the end. So because
Yeah.
I do have a full-time job now, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I've also have it. Or used to have, or still have trouble like playing a single. For me, it's less the length, just in general. I have trouble. So, like I think I told you yesterday already. It's just for me the best way to do it is just stream them.
Yeah, and also play the same game over and over again.
Actually, I've been trying to play some different games. Like this is just because I was curious about how this Liver mod actually works or how it looks like.
Okay.
Because
I don't know, every time your name comes up, it's like playing
Well, I am kind of known to be the Gothic
the Gothic
guy
2
then.
gamer.
Yeah, I always notice it in the viewer numbers as well.
Oops. Oh my god, I just opened one of your videos.
How come
Why is it even turned on? Jesus.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I can already finish this investigation because I already stole the book. Nice. Nah, what games did I stream, for example? I played through Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door because I heard it was really good. I played through, oh yeah, the Call of Cthulhu game from like 2004 because that was the...
That was an amazing game.
It was very flawed in many ways,
yeah.
but I liked it in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely flawed, and especially the end game is quite boring, to be honest.
Yeah,
But I don't
it's,
think any game had like an amazing early game.
yeah, like yeah, I definitely like the early game where you're just an Innsmouth trying to investigate it.
And you have no weapons, right? And you
yeah,
have
have
this,
no
like,
weapons.
stuff. That was amazing.
Yeah, then there was the kind of tedious moment when you had like no weapons at all, but you had to stealth. So the moment they caught you, were basically dead. That was
Yeah.
rather frustrating. And then the regular shooting was nice. Like the shooting gameplay was
It was competent. Yeah.
it was competent, enjoyable. There were some kind of weird puzzles you had to do, like they were kind of unintuitive in the sense. Like I think that one of the weirdest things was like when you had to get on into the back of a truck, and then you had to ride it down a hill and crash it down a pit. And for some
Yeah, I mean,
reason,
that was the end of the chase scene, right?
yeah, and that does not kill you for some odd reason. No, it's actually before the chase scene. It's like when you get to, like, you are at the police station to free somebody, and then you try to get away. I don't have quite.
But it's after the initial chase sequence where
Oh, yeah,
they
the
like
initial-
bust into your hotel room, right?
Yeah, the initial chase scene.
Oh man, that was such a great part of gaming.
Oh yeah, I definitely like this haunting like this. Yeah, the chase in general is just like
Yeah,
this.
also just the fact that you had no means of fighting back. That's. I mean, they tried to emulate something at the
Wait a minute.
what's it called? It's like your Mirror's Edge games. But there you can punch and you can just pick up guns and stuff. So it's not the same. But like
Yeah, that's what I found. Yeah, that's what I found funny about Mirror's Edge, because I thought for a long time it would be a pure like running
parkour game.
And
yeah, but it's
at
like
one-
parkour, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, and for a long time, like I had a lot of trouble getting through the game because for some reason I constantly like being with the police was a huge pain in the ass until somebody I was already like 75% through the game, and I was like complaining to a buddy like, Jesus, this is so tedious to fight the police. And then he's like, and then he asked me, did you ever pick up guns? I was like, what? You can pick up guns? You can use them?
Yeah, you can. But I mean, you don't. I don't think there's any point in that game where you.
It's that just completely confused me because I thought it makes sense in a logical sense, but makes sense in a logical sense, yes. Okay, I have to keep track of what I'm actually doing. I'm getting lost again and rambling. What was the thing? Oh yeah, I want to go see Lord Hagen. Exactly. But yeah, that's why I was really sympathetic towards Call of Cthulhu. Although the one thing that annoyed the shit out of me was when you just kill Hydra with a fucking boat cannon. It's like you're a regular dude and you kill an ancient god with a ship's cannon because for some odd reason he's barely able to scratch you. It's like because
Dagon is not a god though. Dagon's just a dude.
I thought it was actually Hydra. It was actually Hydra.
Same thing.
You killed Dagon with a, you killed Dagon with a cannon and Hydra with magical nonsense, exactly. Because I always thought, like, for me, like, I mean, especially reading, like, some of the stories, like, that basically no mere mortal can gaze upon them without going completely batshit, and then you just, hey, there's this giant horror, and you just shoot him a couple of times with a cannon because he's a bumbling idiot. It just kind of ruined the game. For like, killing Hydra at the end with this like magical nonsense was a bit more interesting because it was like was sort of ritualistic even.
Oh yeah, he was half alien. That's right. He was like, wasn't the youth dudes, like those weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Cone people. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like half alien in the end. Like that was like the big twist at the end.
Oh, look at that sneaky Jesus joke.
Hooray! I'm a paladin now. Please clap. Beautiful. And I have 10 more magic protection. Fuck yeah. Oh, it's in general pretty good. It's an upgrade in any kind of way, except...
What does it mean in the greater sense, 10?
In Gothic, the games is always flat damage reduction. So if something does 60 magic damage, it does now only 30.
Ah, okay. So it's like you just have 10 magic damage left incoming.
Yes, it's it prevents 10 more magic damage.
Okay. And I guess that's a high amount because your armor had like 60, 65 on the different things.
Yeah, I have 300 health, so I think it won't matter for me right now because the most the magic guys kill me in like I barely survive 3 fireballs.
Yeah.
So now I will just survive it a bit barely more. So I've survived with 30 more health, but it won't. I still will be only able to take 4 fireballs to the face before I die.
That's still, I mean, it's an extra one, right?
But yeah, it has more. It has quite a lot of blade protection, so that's good. Against I'm not even sure. Do like wild animals, do they do blade or blunt attacks?
Animals.
Yeah.
Oh, would be. It depends, right? I mean, if they are scratching you, it should be like slash damage. If they bite you, it should be piercing damage, right? I mean,
that would be logical, but we're talking about the Gothic series.
So they just headbutt you and punch you with their
Okay,
claws
animals do
tucked in.
blunt. Okay.
Yeah, it's based on their intelligence.
Okay.
Very blunt beings.
That's one way to see it. Okay, we did that. So what's next? We can
Wait,
go
you
to...
specifically have resistance against Dragonfire?
Yes, I do. Which is kind of weird because there's some fire lizards I think also do dragonfire damage, so it's kind of pointless. Or kind of strange. Oh yeah, to the Thieves Guild. Oh, is there some new quest or something like that? Well, I'll see, I guess. Yeah, for some reason there's a specific resistance which I don't quite understand in the game of Dragonfire, and I think funny enough the dragon, also depends on the dragon attack itself. I think the range projectile they use is still magic, but like the melee attack, fire beam attack they use in melee is actually Dragonfire damage. So it's not even consistent with that.
So they try to make Dragonfire be like a specific own force, but then they weren't consistent about it. That's what you're saying. Okay.
Some fire spells also deal Dragonfire. Do they? I thought that most like the fireball spell, for example, just does regular magic damage. But I could be wrong.
I mean, even if your spell is called Dragonfire, like unless you're an actual dragon, it shouldn't cause Dragonfire damage, right? If Dragonfire is separate from everything else.
Hey,
I like that you try to apply sensible logic to a franchise.
It's a German game. It's a German game. I'm allowed to do that because, like, supposedly Germans are very like logical.
I mean, that's something who hasn't played Elix, which is the newest game Piranha Bytes pooped out, which was like holy, it was so horrible. Like, especially in the logic side, like the game. Like, Piranha Bytes has these illusions of grandeur that they're now big storytellers. And they completely fail at that. In completely spectacular ways, also graphical blocks.
I was just looking I was looking at where they're based. Interesting. And I was like, oh, they're probably gonna be in Berlin, like in the tech sector. Turns out, actually, they are in my hometown.
Really?
Yeah, they're in Essen. That's weird.
You could go to Mr. Shouty Man. Oh, what's his name again?
Ruwe.
Yeah, exactly. No, wait, it's the other guy. It's like their community guy, the bald guy.
Oh, Michael Hoge. No, that's the founder.
No, Björn Pankratz.
That's the name.
Yeah. The guy, because I mainly remember him because I was 1 year, when was it, like 2 years ago, I was at Gamescom where they started like showing it at Gamescom, like did a little preview, and this guy shouted and like also not in like the like in the whatchamacallit sense, like not in the entertainer sense. He just shouted like so, it's just, it was not pleasant to listen to, and most people were more, I wouldn't say more afraid, but more like, dude, calm down, just kind of in that sense. Yes, I am paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm just looking for the door. Jesus.
You should hear my boss talking. Like he was an army officer.
Oh dear lord.
So meetings with him are always fun.
I like how Kosh doesn't even realize there's one. I actually,
Yeah, what's going on there? Is it like a water dump?
Yeah, it's some sort of bad water. Also, I acknowledged it quickly, and I mean I can't do more than acknowledge it once. I mean I can constantly go on about how it's reflecting and shit.
But it also seems to be transparent to some extent.
Yeah, I think it's just like a water texture, that, like the water reflection thing that's slapped onto it for no reason. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you can actually see through it. I can see a house above me.
What is that thing in the distance? Yeah, it looks like a...
I think a sunken boat.
Boat? Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like the coast. It's Bok too short, yes.
That's so weird.
Okay, I think this is like the chest that has like a combination of this, like 500 things long. Okay, I have to write that down. Let me see. Okay. No.
You're writing things down?
Left. Okay. L. Well, because the combination is really long. Right. Okay. It's this left, right. Left. Oh wait, it's right. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's right, left. I'm mistaking it. Okay, right, left, right,
left,
right,
up, left, right.
Right.
2, 3.
Right.
15.
Left.
D.
Okay, it's right again. Okay, right, left, right, left, right.
Cha.
Oh god. Right, left, right, left, right. Left. God damn it. Right, left, right.
It looks really
Left, left. No, it's right. Fucking hell. This is riveting gameplay. Right, left, right.
We have written it down correct.
Right, left, right. Oh, right, left. What did you say?
Never mind.
Are you
Just trying to distract you. Yeah.
Oh, you cheeky little bugger.
Yeah, do lockpicks actually break in this?
They do, but it's based on your dexterity skill, and my dexterity skill
And you're super
is pretty
dexterous
high.
in your heavy armor.
Yeah, again, you're trying to deploy D&D logic in Gothic, which does just not work.
Mm.
I do not have any penalty on sneaking either, by the way.
Right.
Funny enough, I don't even know sneaking, but I can sneak anyway, because this game has this funny habit that sidestepping does not get you noticed.
Oh, really? So it's an actual exploit then?
Yeah, it's an actual exploit.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, I mean, I don't need to know sneaking, crouch, and stay behind things.
Yeah, but this is actually funny. Like in this game, it's an actual skill. You just you spend 5 learning points on, and then you can sneak.
Yeah, I remember that.
And your proficiency doesn't change in any way, sort of way. Hey, I finally fucking made it.
I mean, it's also a bit of a role-playing game trope anyway. This whole sneaking thing.
What do you mean? That?
Like, it's like, oh, sneaking better means like the aggro range is affected instead of like actually you having like being better at staying out of sight.
Oh. Alright, dexterity potion. Well, bottoms up.
And then there's, I mean, I don't know if you play Assassin's Creed at all.
I played the second one.
Oh, well, it's been a couple games since then.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of the games where I don't understand why people keep playing it, because I've played the second one and it was perfectly good, but that was enough for me. And after the punch up with the Pope, I was like, okay, this game is just got weird for no reason.
Yeah, so they embraced the weirdness a bit more, but also
yeah,
better.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I mean, the first games kind of try to stay a bit more historically accurate, and now with the newest one, you can basically ride a rainbow horse around.
Well, I mean, that's just DLC cosmetics. But actually, no, I was going to say, like, the last two games, what Odyssey is alright, but Origins was actually really, really fucking good. I would actually recommend that. It's an amazingly beautiful game, and they changed the gameplay to quite an extent. It's less boring copy-paste sneaking stuff. It's more like you can play it however you want.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's more action-oriented. So it's actually really fun. And, I mean,
Yes,
check out the gameplay, I guess.
I did drink the potion, don't you worry. Yeah, that's one thing. Although
Did you
I
put
have
it
to...
on your skin?
Yes. Assassin's Creed Origins, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, it's a problem that with like me and single player games. Although I recently started finally playing through the Stick of Truth from the first South Park game. You know that.
Yeah.
Ye oldie. Although one thing I really started to notice is that I really don't like the South Park humor anymore.
Yeah, it's gotten a little old, I think.
Yeah, at the beginning it was a little bit fun, but after a while, like I think it was like in the second night you get like abducted by aliens and they do the whole alien probe in the butt in the ass shtick, which is like, alright, yeah, that's happened in the show as well. It's just kind of
Yeah, but they're in like season 22 or something now, right?
yeah,
It's basically The Simpsons at this point.
Simpsons is
Zabato.
worse at this point. Although I haven't seen either for quite some time. Although I just know that I actively loathe Simpsons at this point because they just. I think for me it started to die because in the German Simpsons the original voice actress of Marge died and they replaced her with Anke Engelke for reasons other than hey, she's popular, let's
it's a
use
terrible choice.
Yeah, because the only thing she doesn't like. I think Elizabeth Falkman was the original voice actress name. She had a unique spin on Marge. She had, instead of like this raspy voice like in the original English, she had a really melodic voice, which was perfectly fine. And the only thing Anke Engelke does is desperately try to emulate the original voice and horribly fails at it.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, Simpsons ended with the movie.
Yeah, the movie was kind of a nice Hail Mary in the end.
I think it was bad. Like they tried to have the same sort of format, but the format doesn't fit anything more than 25 minutes. And so it felt more like a Family Guy episode to me.
Oh god, that's another chestnut.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I thought the movie was fine. It was like I would say the last positive thing I could say about The Simpsons. How many goblin berries? I think we have like 4 or so. Where are them gobbo berries? Oh, we only have 2. Well. Okay, I never got why everyone thought that spider. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't get either though. And I watched the movie and I thought the spider pig gag was not particularly funny, but
Yeah, it was okay in the trailer, you know.
Yeah, it's trailer material joke in the end, but it's still.
But then basically that is basically what I meant, right? It's like in the trailer it was fun because it would be a funny shtick for like one Simpsons episode, right? But having this as part of like a feature-length movie is not.
Yeah, and it's like, although I'm trying to think, like, I think Simpsons was never really about the lol random humor thing, and that spider pig shtick was definitely completely lol random humor, which I never thought is, like I said, is part of the Simpsons.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, they had a bunch of things in that movie that were like random side gags, which, as I said, is more of a Family Guy thing.
Yeah, I mean, just the difference that they don't completely separate in another universe like Family Guy did, where every joke was like, "Hey, remember the time when slot machines?"
Hey, remember the time when I made a joke about the last time I made a joke?
Yeah,
Like
and
10 seconds ago.
And who did? I think South Park like made the perfect description of their kind of jokes, where it's basically just they roll a slot machine with like a random person, a random happening, and a random Family Guy member, and that's how.
And
they
then
write the
manatees
jokes.
put that together.
Yeah.
That was actually a fun double episode. Just Carmen trying to, I don't know what he tried to do. Oh, he tried to stop Family Guy from showing a picture of Mohammed.
Oh, the South Park episode?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I only know that part of the episode. Remember, when Humor was a likable figure. Yeah, that's also one thing. Like Humor also just became, instead of a lovable idiot, just became an outright mean human being.
They basically turned into Bender. so like in terms of like not extreme as that sounds, but like he's basically the asshole of the show because there has to be a main character who's also an asshole.
Yeah, it's kind of like at the. Although I mean, there was the whole choking Bart business the whole time, which was. I mean, yes, I would also count as well, obviously mean spirited, but it was never came across that much as actually hating him. It was more just kind of a.
Effect thing.
Yeah, effect thing. But now, and also just the whole like back and forth between Bart and Homer was more of a joking kind of thing. But now it definitely, like in the newer season, it definitely just seems like they just generally hate each other's guts. Which, well, doesn't make it entertaining. Homer simply used to watch over the new camp.
I don't get that.
NPC in Gothic was called Homer, and he watched over the.
Okay. Now I get it. Okay. Yeah. I remember when Homer used to write like epics.
Out of all the shows you mentioned, Wowzer, I can definitely recommend Futurama. I thought Futurama was pretty clever for the most part.
It was pretty good. I think it was probably Matt Groening's best show, to be honest.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the new one he produced, Disenchantment, I think it's called?
It's on my list, but like, I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm not... Like, everything that Matt Groening made in the last couple of years kind of... To me.
Kind of what?
Kind of meh.
Okay. Yeah, like, when I watched the trailer, it was like, I couldn't laugh a single time. Even though it's like... I mean, it is basically made for me because it's kind of a fantasy world spoof, but... Still,
yeah, but it's also the same tropes, right? It's basically Simpsons, Futurama, whatever.
True. Yeah, I guess one of the things is that at least, for example, Futurama I mean, it was a typical future setting, but it was really unique with it in many things. And Disenchantment just looks like, hey, let's take these existing tropes and flip them around a little bit.
Yep. Oh, this is a way we can make money.
Hey, you.
Yeah. Oh.
Also Netflix.
Speaking of, let's pick his pocket. Thank you very much.
Hey, this is a way to make money.
How do I get the teleport rune in this place again? Is that... I think I talked to Lee, right? Damn, there's so many unstolen purses in this place.
You didn't get that from me. Will you look? What do you want? Have you
Oh, shut up.
I can't help it. What? I don't believe this is gonna...
Hey, I'll be right back.
Sure thing. So what shows did you watch in Poland while growing up? Oh, I don't know what Polish comedies there are. Probably some shows about politics, I guess. Ha! 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 Oh, that was horrible. I don't care.
And that's the first I've heard of it.
So I didn't watch any of those comedy shows. I mean, it's better that way. Most of the ones I watched, I still don't know whether I was that Poland joke. Beautiful.
Hey, you.
Still don't know whether I actually liked them in the end or not. Although for some reason, I'm really tempted to rewatch Naruto. Mainly because I don't know what to watch right now. Because usually I just spend. I think at this point I reached. At this point I reached the point of we're quite a long time away. We did non-capitalist level up at one point, but I was too lazy to really reload.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he gives me a present.
Hey, you. What pre? We have heard of the dragon. They're really all right. Anyway, I thought you would surely. And here, take this app.
Oh yeah, he has like a shitty amulet. He gives you a shitty amulet. That is absolutely useless. Let me see. Where is it? I think it's like Amulet of Life, right? Yeah, hooray! 40 HP. Yoink. Oh wait, did actually Sylvia and Bulk already leave? No, they're still there. Fine. Good, I can pickpocket them.
Come to my attention, and it's.
Oh, shut up.
We need to talk. What do you want? I think the best.
Sure thing. Now give me your purse. Yeah, it's weaker than Franco's amulet. Yoink. Yeah, I think I can't really do anything to Silvio. He's just too badass. Still love how everybody stares at me as soon as I go in here. Throw the amulet on the ground in front of him. No, I can't. He will kick my ass. I won't be trying to do that. Thank you very much. I will continue getting easy experience from mugging people. Because I'm a chaotic good paladin that just steals stuff. Man, I would so lose my paladin powers if this was a D&D setting.
You know that paladins can't be chaotic?
Yes, I know. They should be lawful. By alignment.
Well, they have to be lawful, that's the thing.
Yeah. Again, Gothic. I mean, although I think the 5th edition paladins can actually also be, there are no evil options as well. I think there's like Oath of Vengeance and shit, where they don't have to be lawful good.
Not really? No, I mean, I played 5th edition, so...
Yeah,
they have to be lawful, but they can be evil.
Ah, okay, but it can be lawful neutral or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, it can be anything as long as they're lawful. I mean, considering they have to follow the laws and the rules of whatever deity is giving them their power.
Ah, okay.
So... what a bunch of nerds we are, right?
Oh, I already talked plenty of times about D&D, so people are used to it. Vazer talked about some strange D&D session he DM'd, where like one of the characters was a giant rubber ducky with a giant rubber dick. Oh, was it a rubber dick or was it a regular dick? I already forgot.
Was it a duck dick though? Because things.
Oh, it wasn't. It was a different. Yeah, it was a different thing.
Have you ever seen one of those things?
A giant, like a duck dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're kind of harpoon-like because they basically have to rape the female ducklet.
But not just harpoons, they're also like
corks and spiked, because the female duck vagina is has different dead ends and shit, so she doesn't get impregnated.
Yeah.
It's I've seen the YouTube video, the truth about ducks, or how is it? I don't remember anymore how it's called. I'm well aware of all this interesting stuff, I guess.
You know, if Donald Duck had an accurate duck dick, he would probably be married.
Alright, also give me money, and also have some old coins.
In some more old
Holy
coins?
shit!
Sure. Just a few. Thanks. Here's your...
What happened?
I got 2,775 experience for giving a bunch of old coins to a guy.
And a bunch of pennies.
Yes. I'm close to a level up now because I gave some guy some coins. Okay, it was 111, but still. Okay, I can't pickpocket you. Can I pickpocket you though?
You level fairly slowly in this game, right?
I'm level 26 and I'm halfway through, so depends on the games. I would say no, that's rather quickly. I mean, there are plenty of games where the max level is 20 or so.
Well, like D&D.
Yeah, or I think Pillars of Eternity also had a level cap at 20.
It It did,
no.
but more because of
I think
period.
it was even lower in Pillars of Eternity, like 12 or so even.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I think it was
What's
because it
it?
was. Yeah, 11 of them with the DLC. It was like
What the?
12 or 13. That's because it was basically trying to be Baldur's Gate, which the original Baldur's Gate had to be 7, I think.
Okay. Oh, did you play the DLC of Pillars of Eternity as well?
Of the first one, yeah. But I didn't manage to Frost Dragon.
Didn't manage to what? You cut out there for a minute. I didn't
Yeah,
understand.
there's a dragon in the cave. In
Oh,
the
in the
snowy
main-
area? No, in the DLC.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also a dragon all the way down if you go to the endless,
Well, yeah.
endless ruins.
Yeah, but that one, the other one is.
Much harder, or what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one all the way down is also a bunch of bullshit because it just one-shots your ass.
I didn't fight it.
I think I didn't fight it, but then I wanted to try it out, how it is to fight it, and it was absolutely obnoxious. You had to prepare so much, like you constantly had to like have everybody just spread out so his fire breath doesn't annihilate you, and then just try and like CC it to death because every attack was just absolutely lethal.
Yeah. It's been a while, but I think what I did was I decided to play its game and have it possess that other person, but then I killed that person instead.
That's one way.
Which
to
is
do it.
actually much easier, yeah.
Yeah, right. It offers you like some sort of deal.
Mm.
But it's also been a while since I've played through it. But it was fairly enjoyable, although the end fight was also kind of infuriating. I'm rather
Oh,
close.
sorry,
to
you
it.
cut out there.
I thought the final boss was a bit infuriating.
I can't even remember.
Like the fight, like it's one mage and he has like 2 giant statues as mobs. And the problem is the boss fight starts you out with those 2 right behind your back. So the first thing you have to do is to scramble. Oh hey there, capitalist, level up by stealing from people. That's even better. And it's even worse because you have to spend the first turn trying to run away from them and pray that the free strike you receive won't knock your characters down. Which
Yeah.
was...
I mean, I don't remember the fight too well, so I don't think I had that much trouble.
I was full level. Okay, then again, I'm not... Oh. This is also a new feature in this game. You can chop down trees. And skip and jump. And I got 1 wooden bar.
Up and away. I've been trying. Actually, like before, you might like remember how you had to get the blessings of God?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of screwed myself over on that because I was like, oh, I've been reading so much. I'm gonna just like skim it, and then I promised like to do what 3 of them wanted, and so didn't get the best ending.
Aww.
It was annoying. It's like, oh, you cheated on me. I don't even.
Oh, you don't even remember how you cheated.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't read everything.
I don't even remember which one I pledged to. So, if we're already on the topic of FOE, who was your who were your favorite companions?
That's a tough question, actually. I think the milk bread guy you find at the beginning.
Oh, Aleph, the mage.
No, well, he was fun too, but no, I mean the regular.
Oh, Adair, the fighter.
Is that the guy? Yeah. I liked him. He was like he was a regular dude. I mean, that's always fun in those kind of games, and he wasn't as annoying as the guy you get at the beginning of Dragon Age, for example.
Oh yeah. Funny enough, I did play Dragon Age, and I found that guy annoying. Although, is Valvedrix still in the chat? Valvedrix is still in the chat. She will probably shout at you for not liking him because she likes.
I mean, he's okay, but he's very one-dimensional, right?
Yeah. Then again, all the characters in Dragon Age seem incredibly one-dimensional. Like Morrigan just hates everything. Who else is there? I don't even remember anymore. Like all the characters.
All of them.
Yeah, it was just really plain boring. Like Especially because it also has like this mechanic where if you choose an opinion they don't like, they get pissy, and it's like, oh no, I chose something that isn't completely hateful towards the world. Morgan dislikes that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Alistair, a quirky soy boy. But one thing about the fighter Adair is, luckily enough, I only because he's voiced by Matthew Mercer, the Critical Role guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and luckily I did not start watching Critical Role before I played the game, so it was actually kinda lucky, because otherwise this would have annoyed me the whole time through. The first time I heard Matthew Mercer was actually, he also voices an Overwatch character. The cowboy guy.
Right, never played Overwatch actually.
It's
I'm a Battlefield boy, so.
Yeah, it's a kind of an arcadey, like it's kind of a sponge shooter, we would always say, because there's so much emphasis on healing that it's it's even worse than TF2, which was already kind of a spongy shooter.
Here's the
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I quit TF2 when they started to like change how the classes worked.
Oh, you mean like alternative weapons and shit?
Yeah, but like, I think it was when the demo man got like.
Oh yeah, soldier and demo man update, yeah.
And that's like, okay, they got rid of the regular archetypes, so this is gonna be complicated now. So
I can improve my woodcutting skill.
What do you want?
Learn woodcutting. Learn woodcutting.
It's actually turning into RuneScape now.
Yeah.
Man, we played so much TF2 back in the day. Jesus.
Yeah, I remember that. Also, yeah, Durance was a kind of a nice character. I always kept him around, mainly because I could not solve his character quest for some odd reason. I did not know what I did wrong. I think I constantly picked the like. Yeah, I think you have to talk to him and then basically give him the right arguments. Because he's like, wasn't he like incredibly vengeful towards one of the gods?
Yeah, because his brother died because.
Yeah, I feel like Mara and the God Hammer or something like that.
But yeah, I mean, that's why those character quests are actually really great, because you have to be confrontational sometimes. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna give you the answers that you probably want to hear. You actually have to say, hey, dude, I disagree with you.
Yeah.
So it's just a well-written game, and we both know Vaza doesn't well-written games. But I think for role-playing games like that, it's actually weird.
Yeah, I really liked it. I mean, I think one thing I heard though is basically that your own character doesn't develop that much.
It depends. I mean, that's a role-playing thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of nice that you constantly get like I think you have like different skills that go like up and down, or like traits rather that go up and down. Like if you're generous, if you're stingy, if you're pragmatic, if you're we were talking about Pillars of Eternity, but I never felt that had that much of a influence, I would say.
No, I mean, that was more of a gameplay thing, right? So it's just like...
Yeah, I think the only thing where it would actively, like, have influence is, like, there's this big hearing, I think you have, of the city leader, I think. Like, is it some sort of trial, or... yeah, I think it was, like, a trial about whether to ban... outlaw this... whatever the hell it actually was again.
Soul thing.
Yes, exactly. Because there was shit going down. Yeah, it was like framed that it's like I think it was like the villain framed it as it being the cause, but he just completely manipulated, like possessed people in the asylum or something like that.
Yeah, and then he killed the Lord.
Exactly.
During the hearing, and then stuff goes nuts. I mean, I really like it. It's actually really cool.
Although I have to say, I never got too warm with the combat. I think I either like it completely turn-based or action, because like this constant like pausing, selecting new abilities. Oh shit! I did not see that seeker in front of me. Was a bit of a hassle. And
yeah.
Also,
I mean
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go first.
Okay. I mean, they tried to emulate this whole like Infinity Engine combat, but I mean, it was never good back in the day. Even like it was always sort of it was fiddly. You always had issues with pathfinding. It just didn't work. But yeah, I mean, it was a functional combat system, and yeah, Dragon Age Origins was a little bit more clunky sometimes.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what's the age difference, right? When was Dragon Age? Was like 2010, maybe at the latest.
Yeah, 28 or something like that.
Yeah, and so I mean, you have like half a decade at least between those games.
Yeah,
And it's not just technology, game design, all experience.
yeah, and yeah, there were some little touches you had when we were more ruthless and shit. But yeah, the combat was functional, but like I said, I would much prefer it like in the style of like Divinity Original Sin, for example, where it's completely combat based, turn-based things.
Yeah.
Or I think, or maybe that's like one of the things it was my own fault. There's a way to automate stuff, right, in Pillars of Eternity, because the
Yeah, you
problem.
can set up AI stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think was my problem, that I never got around to do that. I was too lazy. I always did everything manual. So at every combat I casted, did all the same preparation spells, did all the same damage spells. Like, ugh, this is so tedious. Why is there nothing to relieve me of this tediousness? While there probably was, and I was just too lazy to actually set it up.
Yeah, they did have an AI system, like, some way, but I mean, the thing is, I played like, I switched the difficulty down to easy at some point because...
Yeah, the game is hard and pretty ruthless.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, if it's an RPG, like, I don't... being challenging. Like, that's what I play strategy games for.
No idea. Tell me.
And yeah, one of the big problems Divinity Original Sin had was it was just too much of a elemental clusterfuck. Rather, it was basically just the floor is lava, is fine. The floor is lava, poison, whatever the hell. You just, like, I did first playthrough I did as a mage, which was pretty fun. And Groll played a melee fighter and constantly was complaining about what fucking tedious game this is. And now in the second playthrough I played a melee character and noticed this is fucking awful because you cannot literally step anywhere because it's just after two turns of fighting everything is full with damaging poison or anything else.
Yeah. Did they get better in the second game?
I will find out sooner or later because I bought it, but I haven't started a playthrough yet.
Oh, you should stream it.
Nah, I'm not gonna stream it because I'm gonna play it in co-op with a couple of buddies with a Dutch guy who is also Discord and my DM.
Okay. But yeah, Divinity, I mean, I like the game, but I didn't play it much. It's just too many containers for me.
Yeah.
Too much.
Also, do not talk about Divinity Original Sin 2. I want to see how it is. I want to experience it myself. And it's kind of weird considering that everybody says Divinity Original Sin 2 is an upgrade on every imaginable level.
Yeah, but he also doesn't like anything, so.
That's true.
No secret.
He just he just dislikes things less.
There's more, believe me.
Oh yeah, I remember
What are you doing
that.
with your tablet?
Tell you. Listen to the
I have no concept of giving
no
Jesus Christ, stop being... Oh hey, Ranchai. Hello there.
Ranchai.
I did not know you were lurking in the chat. What do I do a voice pitch? Me and the person I played also with another duo if we were destructive. Oh. Ha.
That's proper lurking.
Certainly.
That's proper looking. Also, give me that teleport room, buddy.
I'm telling you anything new.
Okay, let's go to the monastery so they can tell me the Eye of Innis is missing. Because they're incompetent idiots.
Is it really true?
Yeah. So, I'm very curious about the second game.
Yeah,
I do not believe in Maz's lie of that everything is worse into. I'm sure there's some way to exploit the game again, but that's kind of part of the course. I think the first.
I do get his point about like people thinking it's an improvement. Because I mean, it used to be that a sequel tended to be like much worse. But for some reason, like with this whole like yearly release cycle of things, like and then small iterations on things, like people don't notice how bad something can be sometimes. It's just like, oh, it's more of the same stuff with like minor things.
Yeah. Although I heard that the Video Original Sin did actually a lot of new things, or a lot of improvements and differences. I thought it's
There's
actually
people in that one.
yeah. And you can have sex with skeletons, as far as I'm concerned.
That is not possible.
Oh.
Except, I mean, I guess there's some, like, the human skeleton has some openings, I guess, but...
I already seen some sort of weird dialogue where a raunchy skeleton starts seducing you or some shit like that. Boning bones. That's one way to put it.
Come to Bone Town.
Hey, you.
Yes, I know, you want to get into the monastery. But yeah, like, did you know that the speedrun to Divinity Original Sin 1 is less than half an hour long?
Did you know that the speedrun to Two Worlds 1 is like...
Yeah, 2.5 minutes because the
oh, wow.
because the release version was not patched that the starting village could just kill the evil villain. I know, I've seen it. It's beautiful.
Which, if you think about it, it should probably be the way that most things end.
But I found it funny because in Divinity Original Sin 1 I did not think it's possible to exploit the game so much. But the way they do it, or have you seen the speedrun?
Of Divinity?
Yeah, Divinity Original Sin 1.
Not yet, but I will open another browser window.
Yeah, the thing is, what they do is, the way they beat like the high tier enemy is just create a really heavy object and just drop it on them, cartoon style. Which I found hilarious. Like, they take a chest and then just put many barrels in it and then just drop it on like the last boss's head and just, yeah, just cartoon style kill them. Which is beautiful. And I think the second game was also a really short speedrun, but I didn't watch it because obviously I don't want spoilers. But I think it has something to do
with the speedruns.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with those curse barrels I heard a little bit about, that they're kind of exploitable. In the sense that I think they have like something in it that is really damaging or something like that. Yeah, I think that's one thing I realized is that they... Hello there. Oh, they redesigned the monastery.
That's where the taxpayer money is going.
That's actually kind of a neat redesign, I have to say. Also, let me take your purse.
May Inos.
Speedrunner fucked up. Oh, that's silly Billy. Speedruns that... Although that sounds kind of a sad fuck up. I usually like the speedruns that just go completely off the hook. That just become a huge train wreck. Usually involving completely broken games to begin with.
I actually like the speedruns I like to watch are actually the it's weird. I can read that. The speedruns that I like are usually of games where you don't expect speedruns to be a thing. Like Baldur's Gate, for example, has like a 1 hour speedrun. Or Baldur's Gate 2, I think, actually.
I guess just because you're curious to see how you can actually break the game like that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how a game that's supposed to last a couple real-time days can actually be like beaten in like an hour.
Yeah, that's why I also like the Divinity Original Sin 1.1. Because how a game that takes like 60 hours to beaten in like less than half an hour is beautiful. Is strange. Daggerfall speedrun is retarded. Yeah, maybe it's Arena or Daggerfall, but I think one of the speedruns has like this exploit where they just duplicate an item until they got enough of them, and then just finish the game like that.
Yeah, and also like clipping out of bounds in most of the dungeons. that's a kind I don't really like because I'm more interested in the ones that are fast without like breaking the game.
Yeah, fast and also skill. Like that's why I really dislike the Dark Souls speedruns that are basically just running out of bounds for I don't know how long, or just exploiting bosses in a weird way, or not, or rather just not legitimately beating them. Because I always liked the skill of beating a high level boss as a low level character, and then you just do a clip through the floor or some shit like that. Or rather, in Dark Souls 3, the like out of bounds glitch is really tedious. And it's really, really dumb to watch because it's just him running in nothingness for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you buy a ship, you go to the ship area, and the edge of the ship has a door to the final dungeon. What? Okay, that is beautiful.
But is that on purpose? Like, weird. I mean, I guess you might have done something like that for debugging purposes, maybe, but...
Yeah, or something they accidentally left in the game or so.
I knew it. I was right. I mean, this was back in the day when you had like powerful
what?
like, powerful editors where you could just like jump between different scenes easily.
Yeah, so you just had to like find a in-game way.
Because like when I do stuff in Unity, I can just jump around and do things like during in runtime. Like I don't have to be out of runtime for that.
Yeah, I have that kind of with I used to do a lot of maps for Age of Empires 2 and scenarios, so I often had like in-game programmed triggers to automatically jump to a certain event. Like I had like a little setup with like different outposts, and depending on which outpost I click, I go to a different place.
Yeah, it's kind of
in the story.
Man, good times with that game.
you.
That's like one of the things I still want to do is actually like make a director's commentary of my
you.
Age of Empires 2 map. But
Oh, really?
yeah, because it's generally a really like it was like one of my quote unquote magnum opuses, because after this day I would still say it's a really entertaining game. Although the problem is I translated it to English when my English was still really bad.
Oh yeah, I remember you getting into LPs to get better at English.
Exactly, and that was, I think I translated it even before I started doing LPs.
What's your
So you can probably assume how bad it is in the end.
Did we ever play against each other? Now that Runshare brings it up, I think I always refused to.
It could be, because the thing is, I also used to play Age of Empires competitively.
Oh, you cut out there.
I used to play Age of Empires competitively.
Ah, right, yeah, and I think you brought that up back in the. I was like, dude, like I don't see you playing any strategy games. I'm not gonna play the one game that you're good at.
What the hell? Magician's Blade, maximum mana increased by 30. Ooh, that's a new custom weapon. Damn, that's pity. So it's kind of sad that I'm not a mage.
There's that Gandalf sword.
It really looks like a Gandalf's sword.
Is it an elven sword? Are there elves in Gothic?
No, it's only humans and orcs. Also haters, Mickey.
Kind of lame.
Why should I buy a Summon Skeleton Scroll? Oh, to beat the orc. Oh, to, I guess...
No, because of the like bone sex talk earlier.
Summon Skeleton. I already have 3. Should I buy more? I guess it's an idea to deal with dragons and shit. Yeah, alright, let's just buy them. I have a shitload of money. I have 15,000 gold. I'm loaded.
Melee mage in D&D.
Melee mage. So, like a warlock with hexblade or something like that?
Or a cleric.
And what other melee mages are there? Because I usually...
Pathfinder.
Oh, Pathfinder. Okay, that's of course something different.
That's quite different, yeah. But yeah, I guess a warlock could actually work.
Yeah, in my campaign, somebody is at least trying it. Like, she also has... Oh yeah, there's a key you used to read in the cells. Oh, to the entrance of the Monastery of Innos. I'm just gonna buy them. Like, she has as... I don't know which pact she has, but she has, like, as a casting mage armor at will, for example, as a first pact boon, I think they're called. Which is definitely a sensible thing, and she has this, like, green-blue flame attack. Like, she did, at least for a level 1 character, she did a shitload of damage. Like, when she announced how much damage she did, I was a bit surprised. And I'm not sure if it was completely legal, though, or what she did.
Yeah, I remember in my last campaign we had... And I'm a big fan of suboptimal characters. But we had an Orc Barbarian who multiclassed into Bar. Which was hilarious, especially because the stats were all barbarian tuned, right? Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Great voice acting too.
Do you, by the way, know how you call a party of Orc Bards?
A warband?
No, an orchestra.
Oh, jeez.
That's my favorite reaction to jokes like this.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was funny with band. No.
Yeah, it's the kind of you can already see the reactions because that's my favorite to go D&D related to go joke.
Oh, you make this joke?
Yeah,
more
basically
often,
whenever
I see,
D&D
okay.
comes up, this is like one of my first jokes I tell.
Okay, well, guess I fell for it then. Yeah, Ranjay, I think you can like buy the starter pack. Actually, pretty decent.
Oh, you mean the 5th edition starter pack?
Yeah, because you said they're interested.
Yeah,
I think it's okay. Like the starting campaign is pretty neat, but I mean, if you're experienced, you don't need to play it anyway.
Yeah, I would say, isn't Pathfinder more complex than 5th edition D&D?
Yeah, and I think it allows for more like weird stuff. I'm playing a suboptimal character in real life. Well, who isn't?
I personally also like suboptimal characters, but not in stats, but more just in personality. Because that's always my problem. Like, I love role-playing suboptimally, but as soon as it comes to the fighting, I hate it when my character is not min-maxed. Although, like, for example, for my mage, I always choose spells she would learn, which would make it sensible that she learns them, and not which spells are good. Which is like one of my things. Like all the things, but in combat, for example, I always just go for max efficiency because, or usually, it always depends on the enemy, of course. Oh, hello there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play a lot of characters because I was DMing 9% of the time. But the few chances I got to play, and we played like the Dark Eye, which is a German system.
Oh yeah, das schwarze Auge.
And I played the Gaukler class, which is basically a juggler.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, this is a random new NPC that has no dialogue and just has Ende.
Gorilla, he looks sad too.
Yeah. Well, he's just got abandoned. Like, he looks sadly into the distance. Like.
No, maybe he's got this like silence thing going on.
Oh yeah, Vow of Silence. Maybe.
It is a monastery.
Because he kind of. Why does it always have to be so crass? Jesus.
I see that we can.
You don't have to ask me that.
Alright, anyways, what were you on about? The Schwarze Auge?
I want.
Oh yeah, so I played a juggler, which was fun.
Where?
Mostly had social skills, which we ignored because we were into role-playing. And actually fairly effective in combat because I was really good at throwing things.
Oh,
So like, yeah, I tried to talk my way out of combat, but then like surprise rock face people, like throw rocks into their faces. But then like constant arguments with the DMs about like attacks in the face
Hey, you.
should knock people out, you know, this kind of stuff.
what attacks in the face should knock people out?
Well, if you're talking to someone and all of a sudden rocking,
Oh, whether that knocks them out or not?
probably, yeah, like regular people, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is like one of the biggest annoyances in like D&D. Like silently knocking people out just does not work in this game because it's just you just do damage, but it doesn't reduce it to 0. They just don't go down, which I always found.
I mean, this is a DM thing, right? Like, I never believed in just like, oh, yeah, you're trying to do something, so you have to. But, like, if there's an actual reason as to why something should just happen, then I'm always for it. So if someone tells me I'm sneaking up behind that person and knocking them out, if they succeed in sneaking, then obviously they can knock them out if they want to.
Yeah, I would also, unless it's like a really, like, there's a good reason for it, like, for example, he's, like, really wary of his surroundings or something like that, or cannot be surprised. Like, I think there's, like, a feat that doesn't allow surprise attacks against you.
Yeah, but I mean, those are different things, right? But if it's just about, like, random through sneaking,
Yeah.
I mean, that's... Otherwise, you kind of want to have this, or create this feeling of I am able to do something with having to rely on the dice all the time.
Yeah, which is funny enough, one thing I disagree with the D&D manual is that when you attack somebody with a melee weapon and then reduces hit points to 0, you can choose that it's not a lethal attack, which I found really strange, considering you just slash with your sword, like you just bury your sword into his guts. It's like, oh no, that's not lethal. Oh no, that's not a lethal attack. I just wanted to more. It's just.
This is my blunt sword.
Yeah. So for me, I always handle it that if they want to not kill him, they have to announce it first. And obviously with ranged attack. Now I would say with ranged attacks you can do it, with magic you can't do it at all. With ranged attacks you can like aim for the feet, but they have like -5 to hit and some shit like that. Or with a melee weapon you would use the smaller damage dice because you're using it to, for example, slap him with the broadside or with the pommel.
Yeah, but I mean, shooting an arrow at someone, like there's no way you can make that.
I mean, if you kneecap him, I guess.
Well, I mean but you can't knock him out.
Yeah, you can't knock him out.
Stealthy, it is not.
Well, if you have like one of those arrows who have, instead of a pointy end, just a giant fist. That works.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you play a character that is basically a LARP character, then you can do stuff like that. It's like LARP weapons.
My current GM is really good with VR on the side, and this does something that makes them Dumbledore with familiar personalities. Yeah, going too much by the rules is just not fun. And it's always like a thing of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So usually, I mean, it's also in the sense that you don't know all the rules anyway, so you have have to anyway individually look at stuff. Like, for example, one of my characters is playing a wizard, and I never had played wizard myself, so I had the problem of like not knowing how the find familiar spell works. So, like, usually you would always have to pay 10 gold for summoning the familiar, and I thought it's kind of a steep amount of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so I made the compromise that no, if he wants to resummon him or summon a different familiar, he doesn't have to pay the gold. But
Okay.
if it dies, then you have to pay the gold. So he can't just use it as like a scouting projectile the whole time. Because that would also be rather bullshit. Especially because you can cast spells with over the familiar.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you
Also,
could,
Kakademon.
yeah, so you could just go Alua Akbar the whole time. My Magus had a Kakademon familiar from my perspective. What is a Kakad? Wait, Kakademon are the ones from Doom, right?
Kakademon.
Those are those one-eyed things from Doom, right?
Yeah, the Kakademons with the anus.
Yeah, the flying monster tomatoes.
So Nakubra is a cowboy hat from Australia, by the way. So, you know.
Thomas Brooks, charismatic, innocent as evil. Regardless. No, I have a fondness for dumb characters. Like, I have a fighter that like is currently in some, like, he's like an ancient tribe kind of thing. Like, he's a how's the cat race called again? How's the cat race called again in D&D? Tabaxi. He's like a Tabaxi warrior from like a ancient, like a really tribal tribe. So right now, he has, like, he's not dumb in the sense that he doesn't know how to ship, but he's just not used to normal civilization. So it's kind of fun how I try to navigate this weird, confusing world, and also like, for, like, okay, I think this doesn't work in English, so I have to tell it in German. Like, for example, my GM, like, we went back to a tavern where we already caused a little bit of trouble, and then the barkeep said to us, macht keine Scheiße. And my character just asked, why, don't you have a toilet?
Oh, jeez.
And the fun thing is, it took my GM like 10 seconds or so until he actually got it. And his response was a beautiful groan.
Oh man, I want to play again.
Yeah, I can't wait. We have the next session I have this Sunday, which is gonna be great.
Yeah, but my group kind of blew up.
Yeah, that's usually the case. I have to say I've finally found a circle who is pretty active. Like, we play almost every week, which is quite a rare feat in the end.
Yeah, I mean, we managed to go like weekly for months, but then one person moved to Hamburg. Also, one of the people that was part of the group was a girl I dated at the time, and a friend of hers. Stopped being the case. Obviously, she didn't come to the sessions anymore. Also, her friend. So, and then another person was like, "I never played this before. I'm gonna try, but ain't not my thing." And so we're down to like 3 people.
Oh, that sucks. Last game was newly colonized land, one player being with looks heavy accent speak. Small goblin for music. Oh, you got a small goblin friend. Oh, that is adorable.
Oh, it reminds me of the kobold you could befriend in Neverwinter Night.
What's the name of the goblin? Funny enough, in our campaign,
Deacon, yes. Deacon.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
in our campaign, we actually managed to befriend a dragon.
Nice.
In the sense that he was the guardian of the area. It was an ice dragon, and for some reason, ice dragons only have an intelligence of 8 or so. So he was dumb as a brick.
Let me check my book, actually.
I think adult male ice dragons actually have. I looked that up myself. I think it's true that they only have an intelligence of 8.
Well, I've got the monster manual right here, so check.
I actually also have that in mind. I can look it up myself.
Daka is a good name.
Daka. Is the adult?
So, what were we saying? Ice Dragon, right?
Yes, ice dragon specifically.
So who's gonna be faster here?
Well, provided it actually is in here.
Should be.
Dragons.
D&D reading stream, oh yeah.
Ancient red dragon, ancient green dragon, ancient...
No, I think it only has the color dragons in here.
Yeah. But
There must be like Mordenkainen's pose or something.
Yeah, but you can look it up. I think you can actually find the...
Yeah, D&D Beyond should have it.
No, 10 is average. 8 is slightly below average.
Which is weird for a dragon.
Yeah. And like I think there was like a good article that said like 8 just sometimes has problem with like train of thought. But the thing is also the dragon was also completely reclusive. Like he was like a guardian of a forbidden valley and was basically all alone with food. And basically we taught the dragon friendship.
No.
Because
Then all the ice melted. It's just like... Did you just copy the...
nah, the thing is,
Tell me
I mean, the only reason why we were able to do that was because of Leomund's OP hut. You know, the thing that just creates a indestructible hut, which you can't do jack shit about.
Okay.
I always found that spell really weird. Like I said, it just creates a hut for 8 hours that is completely indestructible. And I think I think it's dispellable though. But otherwise, you can't do jack shit. So, oops, shit. I did a mistake.
What happened to the walls?
It's the usual.
What did you do? Are you supposed to jump?
No, it's not. The problem is this is like one of the NPCs that's like, don't come closer or I will fry your ass. And
Jeez.
that's
and
exactly
then you just had to just jump at.
yeah. And the problem is he's
Fire.
he's an immortal NPC as well.
Try your best drop kick.
Yeah, I know. You can pick up the shield, but the problem is this guy is watching me. Or can I like do the thing from behind? No, wait. I think I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, our bard was able to build up the heart. We were able to talk to him, and it was, like I said, he was dumb as a brick and just not very well. He didn't get many social clues. It was basically about, what do you want from us? I want to eat you. Well, how about we can be more than just food? Like what? We can be your friends. What is that? It was just a back and forth the whole time. It was like, hey, friends do this and that, but that isn't food. That doesn't make my hunger go away.
Yeah, friends can make you feel good, just like food.
Yeah, you can
You
seduce
give you
the
this
dragon.
warm feeling in your belly, just like food.
Yeah, we basically went a little bit like that, and I think the way we got him, we had like the cleric had like an item where he could banish things into it, and we still had an ice giant in there, which we then promptly offered him as food. Which
That's kind of
appeased,
rude.
yeah, which appeased him for now, and towards the end, I don't like we constantly talked a lot, like especially my character talked a lot to him, like, hey, we gave you food. That's what friends do, and that's the people you don't eat.
Yeah, friends help you eat people.
Yeah, and in the end, the thing that really helped him out is like he got possessed at one point, and our paladin was possessed by the evil guy, and we were able to heal him from his possession. And yeah, in the end, we befriended him.
That's a nice story.
Yeah, especially because this is like one of the things that makes D&D so fun, because our DM never thought about that we will actually befriend him. We thought it's just going to be a boss battle, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You can't have those. There's just too many possibilities.
You just completely cut out.
I said you can't have that kind of stuff in video games because it's
Exactly. Yeah, because it's limited things, limited possibilities.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like it's just a lot of extra work to account for.
Yeah.
Them.
But in
Like
the
you'd have
end,
to have like a chatbot or something to do that, but yet they.
yeah, it's still not complete utter freedom.
Hmm.
Which is,
Who knows? Maybe in the next 10 years, when like AI becomes like super crazy.
yeah, self-sentient.
Hmm.
Kind of
But that's like 10,000 years away, I think.
yeah. But yeah, that's exactly the reasons why I love the shit that happens in D&D, because you can just do things you would never expect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also things that will haunt your character. I mean, one of the things that is also like that, your character, you can also control your character growth much better, or rather how your character will react to things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one of the worst things my character that happened to her is that we were like staking out the campaign started with us being captured by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We got free, and then later on were able to track her down, and we saw that some sort of deal, like she was a smuggler, and she was currently hatching some deal with somebody. There were like a whole like caravan of wagons. We're like, okay, we're gonna rain on her fucking parade and murder her and get revenge. So our idea was that the rest of the group charges them, while I'll, as a sorcerer, use a fireball to set the whole caravan and the bears on fire. Well, good idea. Started the whole commotion, and at one point, while through the fireball, killed a bunch of the guards around the wagons started to catch fire. Whole thing was in motion, and then at one point our DM said, "Let everybody please make a perception check."
Ah.
And then you hear muffled screams from the wagons. And it turns out that she was a slave trader all along, which was the reason why she captured us to begin with. So
That
in the
actually
end,
makes sense, yeah.
yeah. So in the end, my character killed like 40 innocent slaves by not thinking about this possibility.
That is
was-
actually a horrible story. Dude.
Yes, exactly. And that's like one of the things in a RPG. How would you like? You can only do it in a binary way. How the character could be traumatized by that, but in this thing, had complete and utter freedom. How I want to, like, how to react to it, how to do it, how to deal with it, which was like a really interesting aspect. Also, what is this
Quick,
shadow
you got-
beast doing? Jesus! Like, how are you? Like, some of the enemies got new attack patterns, and most of them are fucking awful.
Thought you said that you're a ranged character.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem of like... Yeah, but this is also the thing, like, because I'm sidestepping, it doesn't notice me. Like, I can even sidestep into it. Which is the funny, which is a funny part. Okay, let's...
So should maybe just get out while you can.
No, I'm just gonna shoot it from afar. Character's mentality is to give everyone and everything a second chance, accepting death, never break a promise, which lead to duck up. Aww.
Ducka.
It's like you will druid party member has been snuck approached by bugbears every time they were involved.
These bugbears.
We haven't met any bugbears so far in our campaign.
They're actually like for level 1 characters, a single bugbear can super scary.
Yeah, I think they're not that.
And yeah, they're sneaky.
But yeah, but in the end, it was a really interesting experience to like think about. Okay, how does my character now deal with having killed 40 innocent people? Like she has an evil alignment, but she doesn't just kill. Like she's not one of the murder hobos kind that just kills because she can kill and because it's funny. It's more because of the circumstances she lived in that she had to be backstabbing and ruthless in order to get around. So it was actually kind of an interesting thing to do. Funny enough, like that was for some reason the biggest running joke we had in the group. For some reason, my people found it incredibly hilarious that I killed so many. Like not even I mean we fetched a plan together. They agreed to do that. So I mean it's also their fault that they died.
Yeah.
So they could have also said like, hey, maybe we should not shoot it and see what's inside first.
Nothing to be had there.
Always shoot. Ask questions later.
Okay, what is this path leading to? Do you have a memorable D&D story?
Ah, jeez. That's a good question. It's been
You
a
always
long
blame the
time.
last person involved in a chain of execution. Well, they didn't blame me they never blamed me or so. It was just kind of like an awkward kind of thing that just
Well, it
happened.
happens, you know.
We never really talked about it in the group.
I mean, to be honest, like if you accidentally commit mass murder,
You cut out again.
I mean, I just said if you accidentally commit mass murder, you probably want to talk about it. It's,
Well, we decided not
those
to.
kind of
Alright,
things.
alright. The thing is, like after just being away for just staying away for the night, she basically came back with announcing, nobody ever mentions this because you all have the same amount of blood on my fingers, on your fingers. So she refused to talk about it in the end. God damn it, could I please hit the fucking Shadow Beast? Please, Archer Man. I hate it. Like, I think there's like a tiny hill where all the arrows get stuck. Yeah, this is the problem. Like, because it's targeted aiming, it just hits where the hitbox tells you to hit. And if that's in the ground, then it's gonna try and hit the ground instead. But yeah, committing mass murder is always fun. I mean, I did free the slaves in the end. I freed them from the material plane.
Yeah, but like, what plane do they end up? Seriously. Like, it could
Well,
be worse afterwards.
well, depending on whether they were good slaves or not, hell or heaven.
I don't know. I mean, it depends, like, slaves, how are slaves seen? I mean, you can always say, I mean, they didn't try to rise up against their slave owners, right? So is that a sin? Like, what can you do?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point actually. Oh, deep philosophical questions.
Yeah.
A bit of
Ah,
major
jeez.
challenge, really.
Battlefield 5 is getting its like battle royale mode soon.
Well, better cash in as long as that's popular.
Yeah, also split your player base some more. It's like if you think about it, like with these kind of games, like adding like 1,000 different game modes,
Nothing to be had there.
actually not beneficial to your game. Because the more game modes you have, the smaller.
I mean, that's what I always hated about the Worms franchise. Because instead of making just one game, they constantly update. They release like for quite a long time. They just released one game after another, year after year. It's like, hey, you know, your game would be perfect for those kind of like endless games, like a TF2 or a League of Legends. How about you make one like that instead?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like these like high frequency release cycles, they work for single player games. They work for single player extremely well, but as soon as you like rely on having multiple players to populate a game, you basically lost if you have like multiple iterations of it.
Nothing to be had there.
Which is definitely what I found a pity, because I liked the Worms franchise, but I always thought like it's just like all the games they released just had so little differences between the last one. It's like one tiny gimmick, but that didn't really do anything in the end. It's like, hey, in this Worms game there's like pointless water physics. It's completely new. Hey, this game introduces different worm classes. That changes the game completely slightly. That is something.
Yeah, it's basically
God.
taking options away from individual players.
Yeah. And the ironic thing is that the best game is still Worms Armageddon, which was released ages ago.
The very first one. The first game was.
Yeah, like there's Worms 1, then there's Worms 2, which was the first decent one, I think. The first Worms was just kind of ugly looking because it didn't have like I think the very first Worms game was actually just actual worms, and not the cute.
Yeah, it
ones.
was. I mean, it looks. But I never liked the aesthetical style of the worms became later.
Yeah.
So to me, it's still like the best designed one.
God, Dragon Snappers, could you please split up? I think not.
Yeah,
Okay.
those absent dragons instead.
First Worms game was very sad. Yeah, but I just
Nothing to
liked
be
them
had
more
there.
for the comic graphics, like the comic style Worms. The other one were just realistic ones, which was. I mean, I get the idea that it's kind of weird, haha, worms that use normal military device or human military weapons to fight each other, but it just was. I just like it cute, okay.
These are cool. Well, it also had the funny.
Yeah, okay, bye, Weasel. Also, have fun about skeleton romances. What do you say?
Like it had those funny clips before and after games.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you were part of the Worms playing crowd. You had.
Was I? No, I never. I was always like, I hate them
Oh yeah, true. You were the ones that always refused.
because I only liked the first one.
Oh, okay.
Because I really just didn't like the style of, or like any game after the first one.
It's actually the point where it grew on me. But tastes differ as always.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad game. It's just
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea. That's how
just
it
like
is.
how Battlefield is not your cup.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why, but I think it's just kind of. I think that I just kind of have a version of the shooters where you just die in a blink. Can you just die in a blink? Just always find that rather frustrating. I do like the idea of that giant combat field where you're just one of many, and you're like working as a unit with different roles and such. I find that idea appealing, but it's just the oh hey, I got sniped from like 500 meters away. Woohoo.
Yeah, I mean that's down to taste.
Yeah. I mean, I did play the like the first multiplayer game I think I played in general, or shooter I played, was Call of Duty 2, which also had that problem, but it was still I still kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean my first like online shooters, apart from Counter-Strike obviously, was the Rainbow Six games.
Yeah.
And in those it's really like one.
Yeah, it's
so
really...
in Battlefield, to me, the time to kill is fairly low from what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like especially in the beginning when you don't, like it can be super frustrating.
Yeah.
Once you get used to it, you actually know how to move so that the snipers don't get you.
I think your voice activation is kind of low because you keep cutting out. I think you need.
I was actually a little further away from my.
Yeah, I think that's what caused it, because I got the rough idea what he wanted to say, but I just didn't get the full story.
Well, I just said that the constant instantaneous dying mostly happens because you don't know how to move to avoid.
Yeah, you just don't know the movement, don't know how to, don't know what. Basically, are not familiar with the whole shtick yet. Also,
yeah,
of course.
And also,
and of course, surviving 50 bullets is stupid. But I don't play games for intelligence reasons. I like shooters because it's fun to shoot people. I mean, I like the realistic things in single player shooters. Or then again, you also just you as a player character survive 50 bullets. Okay, so never mind. I just don't like realistic shooters. Period.
See, you know why I like playing the Total War games? Because you get to kill thousands of people all the time.
But it's not very personal. You just see a tiny speck die in the distance, but you don't see.
Well, you can zoom in like super close. You can make people fill the whole screen.
But still.
And then with the Total War Warhammer game, you have the heroes, so you have like single dudes destroying entire armies. Which is fun. And dragons and magic. It's great.
Well, as always, dragons and dungeons and shit is always fun.
Yeah.
Wait.
But no, like the whole sniper thing is an interesting point. And that then like DICE knows it's a problem because they changed sniping, like the mechanic behind sniping in the Battlefield. So it's always super different. And in all the Battlefield games that have like class ranks and levels and stuff, sniper, I don't think I have anything more than level 1 in any of those. And I've been playing Battlefield for years.
So what does the sniper class? What is it about that makes the sniper class not likable to you?
I just don't like sniping. And I like playing the objectives, so I like being close.
Oh, you're actually one of those people, one of those viewers that actually plays to win. I see.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's more that was also in TF2 the thing that I regarded the objective more as just a side thing I can do if I really want to, but I never really played to win. Or like for example, capture the flag maps was just for me. Oh hey, let's fuck around for 30 minutes. But yeah.
You're cutting out sometimes.
I am.
Yeah, I can see you talking, but I don't hear you.
It could just be that I don't make funny sounds in general.
Nothing there.
Oh, hey, there's more water ground. I don't even acknowledge it anymore that much because it's just so common at this point. People who play sniper are filthy campers. Well, isn't that the purpose of sniping?
Yes. To me, the biggest issue, like the reason why I'm playing snipers, like the main thing for me is that you just don't get any of the action, right? You just sit around in a corner. You don't move much.
Then you usually die because somebody snuck up to you from behind and shot you to death. Because you don't really... Well, you can try to keep your eyes open, but it's usually not worth it because it's kind of a split second they need to kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, well, and I mean usually, okay, it depends on the game, I guess, because usually, isn't there also usually the problem that most snipers spend time counter sniping instead of sniping actual targets?
Well,
they're usually busy among themselves.
The better ones are, I think.
Yeah, it's like I sometimes I did like playing sniper in TF2, but usually I always switch the instant the enemy team also got a sniper because it's just so obnoxious to just constantly have this paranoia of having potentially a counter sniper kill you.
Yeah. Also, you're effectively contributing even less.
Yes, exactly. Because the idea of a sniper is to kill important key targets like a heavy or medic. But usually it's just spent being paranoid about getting counter-sniped, which is not it's not... It's obnoxious, it's not pleasant. Especially the sniper duels I just hate because it's this... I mean, it's exactly the reason why I don't play Twitch shooters. Because it's about who instantly kills who first. Because headshots are basically always an instant kill in TF2 as a sniper. Like a sniper against sniper. And also fully charged body shots sometimes kill you. So it's usually just an instant death war.
I mean, I'm mostly fine with that. Because it's the same for everybody, right? So.
Yeah, it is. But
one thing that they added in the latest Battlefield games is something I really like, actually. So when you see the glint of their scope in the distance.
Oh, I see.
And like, I think that's just a really nice detail for one, visually, obviously. It creates, but it also tells you like, okay, there is a see where that's.
Yeah, there's like, I think that's what annoyed me about COD 2 when I played. Is like, there's no way to make out where a sniper is, where he's shooting you from, and when you die, you still have no idea where he is. So it's basically, the only thing you know is, okay, I should not move around here because he somehow can shoot at me, but you still don't know if the other path will be safe or if that's still an angle he can shoot you from.
Yeah.
So it's just, you just run out and you just guess. That's why, for example, TF2 is nice with A, the freeze cam shot, showing you where he is, and B, also having the sniper dot to see, oh, a bad sniper is currently aiming exactly at the place I'm going to run through, because he's not one of the smarter ones that obscures his scope. But oh well, that's how it is.
Yeah. Also, in the meantime, I actually downloaded and installed.
Installed what?
Battlefield 5.
Oh.
Yeah. While we were talking. It's still a flawed game, but I like it.
It's not as bad as people make it out to be. I think wasn't there like a whole thing about people getting annoyed because I think didn't have part of the first trailer made it look like Fortnite because it was just incredibly unusually colorful and shit.
Yeah, well, it is in some places, right? You have like some maps where there's a lot of color just because of where it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was also like that. For example, like the main character was like some chick with a robot arm and wielding a katana or something like that.
Oh yeah, that person doesn't exist.
I guess
They did add female character models, so like you basically every class you can exercise. I've been
Yeah, I
waiting
mean,
for that for like 20 years almost, I think, or
I
50.
mean, why not?
Yeah, and then they added female characters, and thankfully I have a lot nowadays. So, but it probably caused a huge shitstorm because, well, women didn't fight in World War II. What are you talking? Even though that's a lie, but
Yeah. Plus, it's not like the Battlefield 5 at this point is particularly realistic.
yeah, I mean, seriously.
Kind of.
But I like it. I mean, it's not to me. Battlefield 1 is probably just because I'm a sucker for that setting, and it's just a really well-made game, I think.
Oh, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's just the age when automatic weapons were like still super rare.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
the
not
game.
true, obviously, but
Wait, is it now, because it has automatic weapons in it, right? Battlefield 1.
yeah.
So is that now realistic or not realistic? Sorry,
Well, it's realistic in the sense that they did exist.
did exist, but
Every
we're just
major
not.
faction. Yeah, they
just
were rare.
not-
Most of them were prototypes.
Oh, okay.
But like if you compare it to the games that play in modern, basically every weapon is an automatic weapon except some shotguns.
Yeah.
But in this, like the medic, the main weapon of the medic is a semi-automatic rifle. Right?
Mhm.
The sniper obviously uses.
Yeah.
And then you have submachine guns for the assault and light machine guns for the support, which is fine. But just the fact that there are some classes, or that there's one extra class that doesn't have automatic weapon, for the most part,
I'll never get this
changes the game quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I can't open it. Oh well.
And then Battlefield 5, obviously, everybody uses automatic weapon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I heard about this quote-unquote controversy about Battlefield 5. But although I guess the first trailer was kind of strange to have this whole color overly like it's nice that they definitely added color to the game, because it's always drab. I mean, there was I think like the Gears of War era was horrible in that regard. That just every game was just drab looking.
Yeah.
Just like you could barely distinguish the games, especially.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what I really like, it's not just this is more.
Nothing there, nothing to be had there.
Didn't
nothing
just
there.
increase saturation.
Nothing there.
And the contrast of the colors. They also put it in places where it makes sense. Battlefield 1, when they added some French army DLC, they also added some maps that have like fields of poppies, and those poppies they really pop. With like a bright red, right? Between all these like muddy brown trenches and ruined buildings, and that's really cool. It's a really nice look. And then Battlefield 5, you have a map that's in the Netherlands, in like a wheat field, and that wheat field is really
Weedy. What were Arcana's color options?
these Arcania. Then also one of your Gothic games.
Well, Arcania is like Arcania Gothic 4 was like the supposed sequel to Gothic 3, but what was made by a completely different studio and was absolutely it was offensively boring, I would call it, because it was like Babby's first RPG. It basically abused the Gothic license, but I just added in random characters from the Gothic universe. Just, hey, look, it's him from the other Gothic. Also, fuck off, goddamn man crawlers. Oh, European. Oh, yeah, European and American, right? That I had like different color schemes depending on what was the American more drab and the European more colorful. I don't remember. But yeah, Arcania as a game just played really boring. Like it was also like not challenging at all. Or rather, the thing is, I made a special playthrough where I just tried to run through everything, and I was able to beat the game in 7 hours. Because there's barely anything that stops you from just running past all the enemies and just only getting the vital items. Of course, I played through on the easiest difficulty, but I was still amazed how easy I was able to run through everything. But come back, you goddamn. No, please attack the other one. There we go. Okay.
What's up with G-Codex?
Although it was still not the... I think the best game in the Gothic series, or rather Arcane is actually not considered part of the Gothic universe anymore, because Piranha Bytes got the rights back, and the first thing they did is tell them to fuck off with this game. So it's not part of the Gothic canon anymore. But the best one is... Or did you know that, like, after Gothic 3, which was still developed by Piranha Bytes, and then got kicked out, that an standalone add-on was made?
Ah, yeah, I heard about that. Wasn't it Deep Silver that developed that?
No, it's even better. It's Trine Studios.
Oh, that's the guys who made Trine.
No, Trine Studios is an Indian developer.
Trion. T-R-I-O-N.
No, I think it was actually really called Trine, like Trine the game, I think.
Oh, okay.
But yes, it's an Indian studio, and I think they had made barely no game whatsoever. But it's amazing that they made a... Yeah, it was a standalone. Forsaken Gods was a standalone. And it was a completely Indian studio, so they shipped off a Western RPG to be developed by an Indian studio. And you noticed that it was from an Indian studio. Because at least 3 quests involved stalking unfaithful wives. Which was... it was such a bizarre experience. Like the whole... I can imagine. Yeah, and the whole dialogue, every dialogue sounded like a horrible school play. Like a medieval school play. Because everyone talked in this really weird, like I said, it sounded like a medieval school play. Because they all had this weird manner of talking.
Pretty good, sir. Like,
not
it's like 2 words,
quite,
actually. 2 words.
Not quite, but close. Just a whole, like... It was immensely entertaining to play, because you were just like one thing after another was just so bafflingly weird. Like the story made no sense. Like the hero himself also made no sense, because he had this strange split personality.
Okay.
Where he was either basically a fascist dictator or an absolute doormat. So sometimes he threatened to execute somebody because he didn't fight in the war, and on other times he just blindly accepts that he's now a prisoner, even though he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, it sounds
and then,
pretty
yeah, it's beautifully baffling, and just the whole, yeah, it's just, God, please, could you not?
But I mean, it makes sense to outsource everything to India, right? I mean, everybody...
Everybody what?
Computer engineering. Everybody in India has a master's degree in computer engineering, software engineering. It's true. I mean, I've been interviewing a lot lately.
I mean, I can see that, but the problem is that although I have to say the game was also buggy and badly coded, so that system, not even that degree helped them.
It's probably more because it didn't invest in QA.
Yeah, I guess so. Just everything was really badly done. Oh, hey, let me steal your stash. Thank you very much. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, Urbanus. That was also a thing. What was the deal with Urbanus again? It wasn't Orcish Guard, which... I think there was actually no deal about Urbanus. It's like, I think it was just a random guard that was just a random orc guard that was for some reason really prominent. I think many people... Yeah, we had like at 1.5 quests involving a random orcish guard. For no reason whatsoever. He was like some sort of... Like, he was just a regular guard. For some reason he was like a kingpin for us because we had 5 quests involving him.
Okay. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that as well. Yeah, bread control really made out of breads. Oh god, I completely forgot about Farouk Bartman. Or all the alchemists just being completely crazy. I think can somebody like put a link to one of 2 clips for Zwobot in the chat? I think it's like some of our most viewed clips in my history. Because it's hard to describe the strangeness that is Forsaken Gods to somebody. And yeah, QA wasn't a problem.
Nothing there.
I think they just had legitimately no problem. I mean, yes, ideally you need to watch the whole playthrough.
Nothing to plunder.
That is true, definitely. I mean, nobody will get the beauty of the boat chest without having this whole shebang in front before it.
Nothing there.
Oh god, the boat chest. Oh, shut your trap, scavenger. Let's see. Oh, we're still 3,000 experience until the next level up. Or even better, just play Forsaken Gods yourself. Experience it. Delve into its... Oh.
Nothing there.
Invisible Dead Novice. Delve into its beauty.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah. And if it gets dark, this game actually gets really dark. But yes.
So what's your quest right now? Why are you back in?
We are trying to locate the Eye of Innos that has been stolen.
Still.
Exactly. Oh hey, this is all watery. But yes, Forsaken Gods is an experience by itself where you can't describe it in words, and I think I can't even describe it with clips. Because without full context, it's just... It's a beauty in itself. It also has like this trope that every alchemist is just batshit crazy.
Well, I would believe that though.
Why? What do you have against alchemists?
Well, but they kind of have to be crazy to just fiddle around with like chemical solutions, right?
I mean, I guess you assume that sometimes they huff a little bit too much of the residue.
There's a lot of this stuff is poisons, you know.
I guess. Well, I guess so.
Explosive.
Okay, what's behind that door again? Oh, goblins.
Was that like a monster closet or something?
Monster closet? What?
What, you don't know what a monster closet is?
Oh, of course I know what it is. It's the typical like Doom thing. Or like, get this item, closet opens, enemies behind you.
Yeah, I mean that's a trap. Like a monster closet, like.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Nothing there.
Like, usually it opens up here. I think did I ever play Doom? I think I never actually played the original Doom. I think, or not for a long time. I mainly know it from how is it called again? Hexen.
Hexen, yeah. I mean, I played Doom a couple of years ago because back when it came out, it was banned in Germany, and we didn't have the internet yet. So
big question: like the original Doom or the remake Doom?
I think most of them. I mean, we don't really ban games here.
Yeah, you even allowed Nazi imagery again.
No, that's still the case.
I thought something like that. I could have sworn read an article that says that you can now show the swastika again in like German games.
Well, it's like a very much a gray area. So you can show swastikas in movies and such, like generally in entertainment media. but it can be gratuitous. Like you can, if you use it in historical. Okay,
Yeah. Of course, not in a glorifying.
Yeah, but stuff like Wolfenstein, for example, would be very much glorifying it.
Ah, okay.
So that's why I'm pretty sure it has a non-swastika version in Germany.
Yeah, but I thought after the game released, it was actually like decreed recently. Because yeah, I know that for example in Wolfenstein 2, A, the swastika was changed, and B, you didn't even get Hitler. You got like Der Führer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think at least they referred him to Der Führer.
Also, Vaso, that's an interesting fact. Yeah, I actually played that version. I mean, it's a bad game, even if it is beatable.
Wait, I thought that I heard that the game is actually kind of good. I have no mouth and I must.
No, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. It doesn't make any sense. Like most of the puzzles, bullshit.
Yeah,
it's an interesting game though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's at least that's what I want heard, because I think it's like divided in different chapters, so it's just like all over the place. Because every chapter is kind of fundamentally different. I think one is like in a creepy castle, one is the Nazi concentration camp, one is I think some sort of tribal thing, I think, like in the jungle. And the fourth one I do not remember.
I think it's in an elevator. The character almost gets raped. But yeah, like the chapter with the concentration, because you play in Nazi.
Yeah, you're like a Nazi scientist, I think.
Like a Mangler, basically.
Yeah, I think you like try to reanimate a golem or so.
But yeah, like it's. I mean, I really love the story that it's based on. It's an amazing piece of literature, and the game just completely shits all over it.
Oh yeah, it's based on a short story, right?
Yeah, by Philip K. Dick. I think it's Dick. Like, let me see.
Is it Dick?
It's a name in this case.
I thought it was something completely.
I know it's Harlan Ellison actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't it Harlan Ellison?
Yeah, I always get those two mixed up, but they're both great. So. Yeah, Philip K. Dick is Ubik and that's it. And Blade Runner, obviously.
Oh, stop hitting me, please. I said stop hitting me. What is so hard?
Stop hitting yourself. Yes, Dick is great.
We're talking about the adventure game. I have the adventure game adaptation of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Man, it's so sad that he voiced the character in that game.
Who voiced what?
No, Harlan Ellison voiced the antagonist in the game.
Oh, he did? Huh. Ah, come on. I would at least say that's a game that has a right to exist because it tried something new. Or at least was experimental at least. I mean, it's better. Like, a shitty but interesting game is at least better than like Call of Duty 500.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, obviously. I don't think I've played any of the last, like, 20 Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
I think the last one I played was Modern Warfare 2, and then I was like, well, this is shit.
Yeah, in general, I barely play any mainstream games or AAA games anymore. So I'm not even caring that like all the EA games are now on Origin, for example. It's like the last AAA game I played was the Dark Souls games, which are still good. And I guess you can count Elex if you want to.
What is Elex anyway?
Elex is the newest game from Piranha Bytes, and it's like a future, like it's a science fiction game, but it has like, because it's still Piranha Bytes, it has a lot of like
swords.
Yeah, it has swords. It's like I guess, is it post-apocalyptic? I think it's post-apocalyptic.
That's just a buzzword you put swords into.
Yeah, because it feels like a bad, like, no, it doesn't try to ape Fallout, but it has its own style, but it's basically like mixing the typical Gothic games with post-apocalyptic thing, because it still plays quite a lot like a like a Gothic game in the end. It has guns, like it has, but they're usually kind of bad. It's still really melee focused. Like, although there are some really, like, the main reason I got through the game was there's like a flamethrower that literally throws flames, so it doesn't have like a beam, it actually shoots like fireballs. And it just stun locks enemies. It's hilariously broken. I was able to kill like high tier enemies because they just could not attack me because they were just stun locked the whole time.
Jeez. But yeah, I always thought it was like a survival.
No, it's a Piranha Bytes RPG like you know it. It was pretty standard, just with a different dress. And like I said, the illusion of grandeur that they can actually write a decent story. Like with likable characters and shit. It's like, no. It's just, like, I think one of the lowest points of the games was like, there's like you have a dialogue section that goes on for 18 minutes. Like, it's just 18 minutes straight of talking. With like going through all the dialogue, it's just 18 minutes of blah 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 blah. It's beautiful, beautifully awful. Oh yeah, sensible story twist as well. It's like,
do you have like a whole series of that on your?
Yeah, I streamed it.
Oh, I will check that out then. I think.
Yeah, like I think one of the nicest. Okay, that's I guess a minor spoiler. Like, do you also have, like, companions now? And the companions have just really strange character motivations. Like, you have, like, kind of a righteous druid type of character. But, for example, like, he usually disapproved of anything remotely mean, I think I did. Like, oh, we have to punish this guy because he did something wrong. Nope, he disapproves. And there's, like, one section where it's about somebody bombing someone, behind, like, as a trap, and he was like, oh, I approve of that, that's really effective. Like, yeah, and other things. I think, what was it like one of the weirdest, like, also this weird thing, like, you have, like, these character levels, like, in the sense of, like, oh, he really likes you, he really hates you. And you always get, like, little, you know, when somebody disapproves of that, there's, like, this little message, blah blah blah, disapproves of your decision. And the lowest level in Elex is the character's name is Durus. And for example, I got them at one point. I decided to do something he didn't like, and the message I got was, Durus would like to see you dead.
Dance.
But the best thing is, he still follows you. He still protects you. He still jumps blindly at whatever the hell I jump myself into. It's like, why is he still with me if he wants to see me dead?
Well, because he likes to see you dead. You know, this actually is.
But why does he then prevent myself from dying when he? It's.
Well, because it's about a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Time has to be right.
Or, I think another thing was like somebody had like employed a guy to build a bomb. Yeah, it was like a giant bomb to bomb like one of the enemy camps. And then it turned out that bomb he was building was actually a robot. It's like, how do you not notice that somebody is not building a bomb, but instead a giant death robot that he also sends to attack the guy his employer? It's like, it's just so much nonsensical. Or like how he finds his origins, and yeah, there's just, it's hard to explain it without context. It's just so much madness. Oh hey, we leveled up.
Does sound interesting though.
Yeah, it's interesting for its absurdity. And I think, although I would more recommend you to at least first watch the Forsaken Gods streams. Because this game is just entertaining through and through if you have too much time on your hands, or just have it like run in the background.
Okay.
Because
nothing to be had there.
Like, there's one character that is literally called Farouked Birdman, because they mistranslated it. And it's a guy that just constantly caws at you and just goes, "Rah, rah, go away, or we'll pick your head in with my
Nothing
or
to be
something
had
like that.
Did he get an Oscar for it?
Nothing to plunder.
He probably should.
Because I think Birdman was really successful.
Okay, I got the Eye of Innos. Hooray. Okay, what do I do with it now? I think I bring it to the monastery. Which means I can also finally... I can go to sleep so I can see something again. Because the night is really fucking dark in this...
It's
Wait a
nice
minute.
though, with like the glowy worms and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice in the sense that it gives a reason. What? What kind of teleport is this? Why did I replace the teleport location with... Oh, fuck off. Like, the teleport used to lead right in front of the main entrance, and now it just ditches me into into that random cave. Where I now have to... Oh, for God's sake. Why? What is? Out of all... Oh. Where am I?
Nothing
Oh, yeah, I'm
there.
still here. Okay, good.
Nothing to be had
I
there.
was confused where I
Why do you have so many bows, by the way?
am. Because this game does not have a weight limit.
And you don't need money.
Yeah, I don't need money. I mean, I still... I haven't sold anything in ages. And I got 18,000 gold. Like, I mean, I also have a ridiculous amount of weapons as well.
Yeah.
And it's... The thing is that we're living in a... I'm living in a game economy where arrows... A single arrow costs 10 gold.
Yes.
And not even that makes gold a problem, even though I'm an archer. Because that's one of the things they actually... The mod maker changed. Because it used to be only 1 gold. Now it's 10 times as expensive, but I still have plenty of gold.
But then they also give you the ability to just get 18,000 gold.
Yeah, it just removes the whole purpose. But I guess it's also the like I just got a shitload of gold for selling all the skins to an NPC, because like you have this mechanic that you can become an apprentice for somebody, and one of the apprentices is just literally bring me furs, which you just get by looting dead animals. So you just do that job by playing the game and get a shitload of money for it.
It seems like a pretty legit job, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the other one is just bring somebody mushrooms, which is more tedious because you have to pick them up by hand. And the other one is... What do you actually do with Harrod? I think you have to smith swords for him, right? Mm-hmm. So that's something you actually have to, like, take your time and do for him.
Damn.
Yeah. I know I never did that because it's just so tedious. Hello, Coralian. You still have nothing to say. Always the same.
He looks kind of like Robin Williams.
Really? You think?
Yeah, check him out. Check him out up close.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I can't first person because I'm wielding a torch. Because game. Oh. But I can't check out his face while...
Well, you need to manipulate the camera a little.
Yeah, I can just talk to him. I don't see Robin Williams in his face.
I do.
Well, it's mainly because I've never really used to Robin Williams with a beard.
No. He has a great one in Good Will Hunting, actually.
Makes me sad now because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah, he was like one of my favorite actors.
Mm-hmm, same.
But just to say, I mean, he was like also a big part of my job. Like, I guess he wasn't because I never had him as an original voice actor. But now that I know like his voice performance as the genie, for example, from Aladdin and other things, or just his, like, I think one of the movies I watched as a kid to death was Mrs. Doubtfire, for example, which is, I mean, it's not. It's obviously not a masterpiece, but it's an entertaining one at least.
Yeah, but also like movies like, as I said, Good Will Hunt, Patch Adams. Like he was a really amazing actor, to be honest.
I think I've actually never seen him in a serious movie.
Ah, you should.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still good movies. So.
Yeah, it's the thing that I'm just really lazy when it comes to watching movies.
Just like reading.
Hey! I've read all the Witcher books. That's actually quite a lot, and I would be reading currently the Lovecraft short stories, but it's been a while since I did, because I usually read while commuting. But
yeah.
Currently I don't commute that much, because I'm a filthy speck of society for not having any work.
Well, it's a choice, though, in your case.
Yeah.
Actually, that doesn't make it any better. So that actually makes it worse.
Although the thing is, I mean, in the end, I would now have the time, but always considered. It sounds really dumb, it sounds really dumb, because I always considered reading as one of the things of like, yeah, if I have no other possibility, I can read. In a train, I'm limited to what I can do. So it's like, okay, I might as well take a book with me, then I can read. But if I'm at home, I got the computer, I got TV, I got this, I got like many other ways to entertain myself. I don't need to read a boring book.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, sometimes I find reading the most thing to do.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Or I usually read sometimes at work during lunch hours, because I also had this retarded thing where I had 1.5 hours of lunch break at work. Which is stupidly long. Because like I usually in my old workplace I usually took like I only need like half of it or even more, maybe only half an hour. But 1.5 hours is just.
I need that hour to myself, otherwise I would just go crazy.
Yeah, 1 hour. Like it always depended more like which people I took lunch break with.
Yeah, I don't know. Lately, I've been cooking in my lunch break. I'm just like I really need that time to myself, because like basically constantly in meetings.
Do you? Where do you cook though? In the office?
Yeah, we have a kitchen.
Oh, okay.
It's always fun. Like,
yeah, but I always find I kind of like then you actually have to like properly equip the kitchen with I don't know whatever, or do you just like. Or do you cook from scratch, or do you just take something with you warm up?
Well, it depends. Like if I have leftovers from dinner, I'll bring stuff. Otherwise, I'm just gonna cook from scratch.
Okay, then you have a pretty well equipped kitchen then, I guess.
Yeah, it's decent.
Because that's usually the problem I had. Like I could cook at my workplace, but it had the problem that it wasn't really equipped, so it was just, I would need so many things to take with me.
Yeah,
but okay.
At my office, the issue is more that finding the time where the kitchen is free for cooking. Because they have like 150 people sharing 2 kitchens. So.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. Okay, I think this is actually a good time to quit this, stop the stream. We found the Eye of Innos. It's broken, but oh well. Oh, why did I type I fixed?
Well, it's very fitting for this game, isn't it?
That the eye isn't fixed, or what?
That it's broken. Yeah.
Oh, that it's broken. Hey, come on! This is generally the best game they produced. You can start. Oh yeah, it's fine. I mean, you have to. The stars are a bit shaky in this mod as well.
What do you mean?
Just look at it while I pan in.
Oh, I see. Well, that's some bad post-processing there.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's some chromatic.
What? You typed iFix because you're half attentioned. Yes, I noticed. I know that I'm half attention. I think this was like also one of the streams where I was did the most bumbling around because you're too distracting, man.
This is gonna be fun next time you load up the save. You're gonna be like, what?
I mean, that's gonna be pretty straight. I mean, I do notice where I am, but I just noticed that I had this. Like, I had this problem doing the Gothic 3 streams where I barely remember what I needed to do, and I had like a section where I think I ran through one time like for 30 minutes because somebody had the bad idea to mention Dark Souls, and that was in the time where I was really involved in the games. So it was just me talking about Dark Souls while just running circles through a town. I'm not doing anything actively.
That sounds perfect.
I know. Alright, well, thanks man for being with me. I hope everybody else in the chat enjoyed the time as well.
Yeah, it's interesting doing something like this after, I don't know, how long has it been? For like 8?
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. Just yeah, I was also thinking like when you came to Switzerland, like I think you were like in 2012 or so in Switzerland.
Yeah, no, it was 2013, March 2013.
March 2014. Do you have it that well in memory?
Well, I know when I did this trip, right?
Oh yeah, you had like a whole trip through
like a 3-week,
trip through Europe. Yeah, because I know it had to be before I moved because it was still at my parents' place.
Yep.
And it was still with when we watched that one Chinese war movie with Mr. Krabs as the general.
Didn't we go bowling too?
Yeah, I think we went bowling as well.
Yeah.
And and then we went. I showed you Burn, and then we wanted to watch the, like, what was it again?
It was like that clock, I think, in Bern.
Yeah, the clock, and we wanted to watch like a thing, like a museum, but which was closed though, like which had the Terracotta Army, I think.
Yeah, because it was Monday.
Yeah, which was so weird. Like, why the fuck would he have? Oh,
it makes sense. Like considering they have to have one day where they close, makes sense to not have it on a weekend.
Oh yeah, I guess so. But okay, enough babbling. Or rather, we can do that off stream. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Au revoir. Will you stop streaming, please? It's not stopping. Ah!
Oh no, I broke everything.